everyone. Hello, all. Welcome once again to Blaine's Escape Corner, our little corner of the internet. We get together, we talk about things that help us escape. Things that help me escape are anime, and also streaming anime that I watch to you guys so that we can talk about it. We are going to, I believe, finally kill the 2-leader of Suntory. Now I'll have to figure out something to do. What comes after 2 liters of Suntory besides a headache? Who knows? Oh, I gotta get every drop. I'm gonna let this sit for a second. Get every single drippity droppity droop drop drip. Gemini, welcome. Pop culture mechanic. Nice job popping in. Mike, what's up? Finish that sun, Terry. Just Terry, if you don't finish that boy. I don't know. We got this. All right. Come on. Click, 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 click. Gotta get that last little bit. Comes next, regret in an empty bottle. Yeah, I suppose. Kampai, everybody. Let's get into it. Those Terrys be froggy. They be froggy Terry joggies. All right, let us take a look at this. I need to update my list, I think. Maybe I don't. Maybe I'm good. No, I do. I definitely do. Just finished a new episode of South Park where Cartman sets up Token with the new student because she is black and they belong together. Yeah, that's one of the funniest. The best part about that episode is, don't they work out? Doesn't it like isn't it like Cartman starts out by being a absolute racist asshole, but then they're like, oh yeah, I do like you. Oh, this is nice. But they actually like have things in common and everything like works out and they have like a nice relationship that grows from it. They do work out in the end. Yes, okay. I'm glad I'm remembering that properly. I love it. Oh my goodness. He would make Twitter proud. He would make all of Twitter proud. That's the crazy part. That's the crazy part. Well, actually no, hold on. He'd make horseshoe theory. He'd make the ends of the horseshoe very, very proud. That's how this works out. You have your religio-fascist over here, and then it like zooms around to like your libertarian, and then it comes right back into your communo-fascist ideals. That's the fascist horseshoe, as I believe it to be. Oh my goodness. Yes, reviews. I don't think I've updated my my list properly, and I don't want to guess. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go through everything that we've been watching this season, and I'm going to give it a. Oh, can I make this like different? Can I make this bigger? I'm gonna give it a like, here's my current update and my thoughts on it. This is not the drop day. This is not the end of the line day for winter. This is just a let's bring up what I've been thinking about all these shows. Why is there not a bigger one? Do I have to zoom in? Oh, that's better. Oh, that's much better. Oh yeah, baby. Wait, I hate that. I hate how... I'm going to show you guys what this looks like right now. Let's correct this a little bit. We don't need to be quite that much zoom. Okay, we can go by force. This will be okay. All right. So these are not current episodes that I'm on. These are episodes from the last time I updated. High card. We are approaching a finale. We're getting indication of a previous generation of High Card. High Card being the company that is working for the king, the people working for the current government, that are looking to gather up the cards. And so now we're introducing ourselves, or getting introduced to some of the previous generations. So we're learning a bit more there. You didn't catch up on Beast, Blaine the Easily Amused. Hey, life is okay. As you all know, I spent a long time working at a gun shop. And a lot of my coworkers in the range, not a lot of the coworkers in the sales department, which kind of makes sense. You take someone and you teach them for years to follow orders, then sales isn't always their strong suit. But the ones on the range, really good at following orders, good at doing what they need to do. And so a lot of people back there, a lot of stories, a lot of, I was in the gunner turret in a striker. We ran over an IED and I got blown out. We were getting shot at while we were trying to hold down this building. I'm like, you know what? I'm not getting shot at today. And that attitude has expanded into my daily life. Into what I enjoy. Like, do I want every single show to be a 11 out of 10 masterpiece, super high budget, crazy, make you think about everything in the world? Not every show needs to be that. Some shows just need to be fun. They just need to have a good time. The damn perishable truck just arrived. No, damn you, perishable truck. Go perish, truck. Ayakashi at a 9. No, I don't score things based on what I think about them. High card is not a 10 either. These are, I give them scores so that I can sort by score, and have certain ones pop up at the top as I like talk about things. It's just easier to do. A lot easier to do. High card at 10 blames on something. I just explained that. Yeah. High card doing this family arc with 2 episodes left. Yeah. The let's get into the backstory right before it ends. Like, I think High card is gambling on the second season. I think they're pulling the let's hint at a bigger, deeper before we end this season, so that we can hopefully get a second season. If High card does not get a second season, and that is their gamble, I recommend no one to watch it. If it does get a second season and we go deeper in, even, finishing off this whole collect all the cards kind of a thing, if you're looking for a JoJo playing card anime, it's not bad. Gets the job done. Triangle did a recap. I'll just read the manga. It's going to be a while with the delay. Yeah, that is true. The last episode of Triangle, I remember, was ended with the introduction to the Painty Boy painting the Kappa, and that's where I'm still at with that. I'm pretty sure I already discussed that one, though. I still am just having a blast with Ayakashi. It's, recap away. I put it at a 10, but it's a 3. Yeah, scores. I don't think numerical scores exist for media. Anytime I give a score, it's always a joke. It's always a silly thing. It's always like a tongue-in-cheek. If I'm like, this is 10 out of 10, this is 4 out of 10, this is 3 out of 10, because, well, or I'm trying to translate someone else's speech, because other people think in scores. They're like, wow, that was a 9 out of 10. Like, they watch something and they're like, yeah, that's a 7 out of 10. My brain has never done that. My brain will watch something and I will put it into like a ranking order where it's like, I would rather watch this than these other things that are currently available. Hey, I don't worry about like, is it a 10? Is it a 9? Is it an 8? Is it a 1? Is it a 2? You know, all that kind of thing. I'll use the numbers to try to communicate with somebody. But ultimately, I just have this sort of list in my head about what I would, if you had everything available to watch and you sat down to watch something, which one would you watch first? Which one are you going to watch second? That kind of thing. That's sort of more how my brain organizes shows. And I either enjoy them or I don't. Makes it annoying. You agree with me? Only spend your time watching 12 out of 10 animes. Everything else goes in the bin. That's dumb. How is that dumb? Numbers are dumb. What does a 8 out of 10 tell you? Does an 8 out of 10 tell you that it has bad animation in certain scenes? Does an 8 out of 10 tell you that the characters say some goofy dialogue? Does an 8 out of 10 tell you that the ultimate plot solution is a contrivance? Like, what does an 8 out of 10 tell you about the media you're going to watch? It doesn't tell you anything. It tells you that somebody somewhere thought, this show is better than most shows. That's usually what an 8 out of 10 is. And then you get the inflation where it's like, for most people, the lowest score they give is a 5. Like, 5 out of 10 is like a 0 in most people's brain. And that comes from, I'm guessing, failing grades. Like, everyone just assumes that an F is like a 5 would be a failure of a show, and a 7 would be your mediocre show. And it's like, no, 5 out of 10 is literally mediocre. So the numbers already don't matter because humans have trained ourselves to interpret them incorrectly. I'm more of a thumbs up, thumbs down kind of guy. Yeah, I could go with thumbs. But you still have to like know whose thumb it is. Like a thumbs up, like, yeah, this was good. But why was it good? What if the reason you liked it is a reason I'll hate it? What of then? What of then? Just, I don't find it useful. I also probably had a lot of influence from the era of the zero punctuation, giving 8 bullwhips out of a wallpaper, or, you know, just making up random numbers at the end, because he would do a video game review and then he would end it with some sort of like meaningless 10 chicks hatched today sort of number, you know. So it was like, okay, numbers don't really mean, like, what is the substance of the issue there? Playing his 2 thumbs straight up the scooter. I don't have a scooter. It might be fun to get a scooter, though. Numbers are dumb. Pythagoras, you have some words with you on that one, bucko. Pythagoras can suck my ass, but he's dirt. He's eaten by worms, pooped out, and probably used in somebody else's body. And then that person died and got eaten by worms again. See where his numbers get him. You'd watch the trailer for it? Oh, I swear to God. You people in your trailers. You're insane. Numbers mean nothing if you choose to make them meaningless. You're actively fighting the current system just so you can explain why later. What does an 8 out of 10 mean? What does it mean? 8 out of 10 is better than most other things I've watched. Better how? Better in what way? In what way can I look at you calling something an 8 out of 10 and be like, well, they said an 8 out of 10, I'll watch it. Like, that doesn't compute. That's why I talk about the things. That's why I say what I like about things. I don't say numbers. Unless Brandon's like, what number would you give this? And I'm like, I don't know, 7 out of 10. 8 out of 10. 3 out of 10. You really know it's true, because I'll give things 5 out of 7. That's some deep lore from the origins of Reddit. 8 out of 10 means you might watch it again. I don't watch things again unless it's Evangelion. It's a system to rate how you felt about a show when you watched it. Yeah, but what does that mean for anyone else? It's better than most other things. That's the baseline. But what does it mean? If you want details, I'm gonna have to put more time into explaining it. Yeah, listen, all right? I would get rid of numerical scoring 1000%. Yeah, I used the number to say it. If we replace them all with written reviews. And you can prove this because you can go onto things that have star ratings, number ratings, thumbs up, thumbs down, and people will give a 0 out of 10 or a 5-star or a 0-star just so that they can be heard. They will say in their writing, actually, I think this is more of a 3 out of 5. I just wanted you to find it because everyone looks for the bad reviews. So the number that we give things doesn't matter. Writing a review takes 100 times longer than giving a score. Then don't give it. Like, I don't want, like, here, listen. Here's the hot take. If all you're going to do is give something a number, I don't care what your opinion is. It means nothing to me. It's not for other people, it's for you. You tier Fire Emblem characters because you want to, not so other people can use the list. But when you are tiering for your information, you look at that and you have thought processes in your head as to why you're tiering certain things higher or lower. And if you were to record that and release that as like, here's my tier list and here's why I think everything goes here, that's interesting. That's sort of like oh yeah, okay, we can see how this is, what the thought process is here, and we can track with it. We can agree, we can disagree, we can move forward. But if you just released your tier list of like, here's the numbers, like that doesn't help anybody. That's not useful. It's a good thumbnail, but it doesn't actually like tell anybody anything. If you want to know something is good, watch the trailer. But then I'd have seen everything, and I don't have to watch the thing if I watch the trailer. The point of a critic giving a score is a shorthand comparison between all of their other opinions. I'm sorry. I don't buy it. Especially on Google, where people say they wish they could give something 0 stars. That too. People will pretend like it's worse than the lowest rating they can even give. Want to jump me right now? Go ahead and try it. You guys can try it. Tomo-chan. You give scores. I don't care what your scores are, though. That's why you do it. Yeah, but I don't care what your scores are. Your scores don't tell me if I'm going to enjoy a thing. They only tell me your relative like of a thing. It doesn't really help me to decide if I'm going to enjoy it. Tomo-chan is a girl. Where am I at? I know I'm forgotten where I'm at. Oh, that's right. I am at the part where, what are you doing in the back room, Michael? You hanging out? Having fun? 3 out of 10. You think his review is very insightful? Welcome, Michael. How are you?
Oh shit, I was just gonna type quicker by being in the actual background because it's quicker. But no, you're completely missing the point of the scoring system. It's not for other people, it's for you to remember how you felt about a show.
So here's the deal. If it's for you, so if you give something a score to say how you feel about it, then I don't care what number you give.
You shouldn't.
Why?
What do you mean?
You just
Because
said it's for
I'm
you.
not explaining. I'm not explaining to you why I like a show. I'm explaining to myself. It's a reminder for yourself. It is not for other people. It's for you.
If it's for you, I don't care.
Yeah, you shouldn't care.
Oh, then we're in agreement.
No, we're not.
How not? You can put numbers on things if that's how you organize them. Other people may use letters to organize their shit, but like at the end of the day, like I don't care what your organization structure is.
But you're actively disregarding it.
Yes, because it doesn't help me. It's not useful.
But you're literally using it to organize shows.
Okay.
There are other ways to organize shows on that site that are probably like intended for organization.
Yeah, the list, but within lists, it's kind of frustrating because there's not necessarily a way to like put things in a direct order. So I had these in order of the ones that I was actually excited for most to last, for the season, or last to most. I forget which way I ordered this. Yeah, I think number 10 here was like my most like that I want to do. And this site has a sort by score button. So I can sort by score and I can just give things 10 through 1 and it generates my little list really quickly. Me utilizing the score so that I can have an orderly stream scroll is not the same as you giving things a rating.
I mean, it pretty much, if you think about it.
Think about what? Pretty much what? That means there are 23 other shows here that don't have scores. One of which is like my favorite show this season. Because when I first made this little like, I want to see whether top 10 that I'm interested in looking at, it wasn't one that I was really interested in, but now I am. Now I'm about it.
Interested in it, throw it at the top of your list.
No, these scores are not meaningful in any way.
They're not meaningful, but it's a way to organize it. So if you want to see it at the top of your list, you should organize it.
But I don't need to do that anymore because we already did that when we did our What Am I Gonna Watch this season. It. Well, I'll just delete the scores.
This is autistic, dude. I'm sorry.
How is this autistic?
It just is.
When I put the list together, I wanted to move 10 shows to the top so that I could say these are the shows that I'm interested in seeing this season. So to do that, I give them scores and I don't rate the others and I rate by score and it pops those up to the top. This is not autistic. Now that I'm done with the season, I don't look back. I don't give scores. I don't do that. I use it for a temporary moving of the images so that I can get on with my life.
Why don't you use it as a consistent one if you're using it to rate your interest in a show?
It's not my interest in a show. It just moves the 10 shows that I want, like based on their description, I'm excited to see to the top of the list. That's all it does. There are
clearly other shows you're more excited to see after you start watching them. Why don't you move them around?
Because it's a one-time thing for the episode in which I stream what I'm excited about. It's not an ongoing moving scale. This is not my MySpace top 8.
Why isn't it?
Because I don't do that. You're not going to my Annie list and checking to see what's in Blaine's top 10 for the season. You're not keeping up with that, are you?
No.
Okay, then it would be useless if I were to do that.
Well, I mean, I can't because it's useless the way it is right now.
It is a pre-season. What am I interested in? That's all it is.
Started, you got to fix it.
No, I don't have to update it. Do you go back and update things that you have like sorted years later when like you don't even use, like if you had a file folder and you put some stuff in there, you stuck it in your filing cabinet. Do you go back 20 years later and reorganize that file folder when you're years away from needing it? No, the best you do is burn it because you don't need those files anymore.
But we're still using it right now. What are you talking about? This is the time to be reorganizing it.
No, because if I changed it, then they wouldn't be the ones I was excited for at the beginning of the season
You
anymore.
already have like a whole video explaining which ones you're excited for. You can just write them down somewhere. Take a screenshot. There are millions of things you can do to explain which ones you're excited for.
All right. You ready for this? Are you ready for this?
It's gonna be autistic.
My use of the scoring system is my use for me, and it should not bother you.
Be better.
Yeah, be better. Be out of here. Get out of here. Oh my goodness. The backgrounds of Akira hold up still. Yeah, because they drew him huge. Do better, Senator. Yeah, get out of here. I'm too autistic. It's true. I'm not autistic. I understand all these things. What's your favorite day of the week? Randy Yellow, my favorite day of the week has got to be right now, Sunday, because Formula races, because I can watch a race on Sunday. Any other time of the year when there's not a Formula race, it's probably a Thursday. Probably a Thursday. Let's see. Was there anything that came up while I was in the middle of that? You're rating my goatee, yeah, numbers. See, even that though, Shum with the seems a little too scraggly, and there's a couple of red hairs in there. That's useful. 2.5 out of 10 doesn't tell me that it's scraggly with a couple red hairs in there. If you say Ava is a 1 out of 10, I would not care. It just doesn't mean anything to me. I don't know why you called it a 1 out of 10. You'd have to talk to me about why you called it a 1 out of 10. They're private people. Yeah, damn, you yelled at the crew. Just a bunch of tism. You score things by hot long hairs with sexy voices? Of course you do. What's your number one, like, most sexy long hairs to show that you've ever had? Fan site. 10 out of 10 Galactic Heroes in MS 8th. Curious why? Why you... What makes Galactic Heroes good in your mind? What makes MS 8th or 08? Say MS 8th or MS 08th? I've always said 08th, but maybe you should just say 8th. Use the numbers, bigot. Never! Never! I use colors and I'm colorblind, so it makes it really weird. Sayuki Requiem, the best anime movie even after Akira and Fatness. Of course it is. Sayuki Requiem. I have no idea what that is, but if I search this, I'm guessing I'm going to find a lot of elderly long hairs. I could see the hair in the tiny thumbnail. Gee, Baloo. Yep. That's some long hair. Maybe it's not as long in the actual show, but we'll see. Your previous thoughts on a show are relevant to my thoughts currently. What? Yeah. That. Of course. Like, the thoughts make sense. Imperial system for ranking media yourself, but to each their own. Metrics used. Government reorganizes 20-plus-year-old documents. Government reorganizes. They just find a different closet to throw it in. That's all. Blaine has no favorite day because he doesn't believe in rankings. No, I'll tell you what it is. Well, and I explained it, right? So Sunday is Formula One, and Thursday is... Growing up, Thursday was my dad's payday. And so every 2 weeks on Thursday, we would get breakfast at McDonald's on the way to school. And I would get a sausage McMuffin, no egg. Or a sausage biscuit, no egg, depending on, you know, if I wanted the muffin or the biscuit. So it's sort of like stuck in my brain that, like, that's a great day. Plus, it's a good day, too, because people want to, like, wrap up all their work for the week before they get to, like, Friday where they have, like, crunch time. Like, I don't know. There's other reasons that it's good as well. Dragon Ruse loves a Monday. Welcome. Welcome. 2 out of 5 out of 10, 2.5 out of 10 tells you the person didn't like it for some reason. But without the reason, the 2.5 is not useful. You say MS Aught 8. Should we use the mother's basement method of burning dumpster fire ratings for things? No. Because those don't mean anything. The point of the zero punctuation rating system is that the number that you say at the end of the review has no inherent meaning. That the review itself is the actual meaning. So I avoid it altogether. That idea gets 3 dumpster fires. Would it get more or less dumpster fires? Is it more dumpster fires if it's a bad idea? Sausage biscuit is 2 out of 10. It wasn't back in 1998. Variables of memory 6 out of 10. Sausage egg McMuffin is 10 out of 10. I became more of a McMuffin man as I aged. The biscuits here, specifically in the Northwest and throughout the 2000s, got more and more dry and cakey, which I'm not a fan of. I'm not a fan of a dry, cakey biscuit. If I'm having a biscuit, like my uncle owned a diner. I need a damn good biscuit if I'm having a biscuit. And so as my taste buds evolved, or they changed the recipe, or insert any number of socioeconomic factors, the biscuit in the sausage biscuit became worse and worse. Have fun eating greasy flour, Shum. Serranus, you are of an age that when you were eating them, they were greasy flour. They are. I'm on your side in this. The 2000s were a sad time for the sausage biscuit. It was not good. And the cheese was never good enough to help coagulate it all together. Aren't you doing the letter system S tier to F? The tiering system, like I said earlier, that comes with explanations as to why things go places makes sense. That's why the tier lists are interesting, because it's not just, oh, this is an F tier, this is an S tier, this is a B tier. It's this is useful here, here, and here. This is interesting in these ways, and that makes it better than these other things because of those reasons. Baconator is bussin'. Is the Baconator still bussin'? I think the flamethrower from Dairy Queen is a decent burger, right? If you have to do fast food. Anything containing sausage is automatically 10 out of 10? I don't know about that. Sounds a little gay to me, honestly. If just anything with a sausage is the 10 out of 10. Hey, how are you doing?
Hey, Blaine, how are you this fine evening?
I'm doing all right. I'm very weary. I woke up at like 6 a.m. for some reason, and then couldn't get back to sleep, and then sat on a bench today for a while. It's very frustrating.
It's that doesn't sound very appealing. That sucks. I'm sorry to hear that you had an interesting day, but I saw that you were live and talking current recommendations, and I've decided on a few shows. I'm dropping a few more.
But before that, what is whether a childhood memory or a today thing you do, what is the breakfast sandwich of choice if you are eating out, eating fast food, eating diner food, I guess?
I would have to go with breakfast jack with onion and mayo, and then the ultimate breakfast sandwich with onion and mayo, and then
is that the sourdough one, or is that a biscuit? What is that one? I'm not familiar with Jack in the Box's breakfast menu, despite being
that's just
high schooler in this area.
That's just a regular hamburger bun type thing. So
interesting.
Biscuits are okay, but they're not really my thing. I've always really liked the McDonald's burritos, but if I had to, if I gun to the head type stuff, I'd go to Jack in the Box.
Jack in the Box. Okay.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Yep.
pop culture goes to Tim Hortons. There's a great uprising in chat against the biscuit and the sausage biscuits at McDonald's, which I agree with. Post 2000, they turned to garbage.
They did. I will say this: when I was going to college the first 2 times, I really, really liked the McGriddles. They were delicious.
Mm-hmm. The McGriddle. Oof.
But of course,
The McGriddle. Oh,
yep.
that is only something you can eat in college when you need the calories and like the extra sugar that's in that stupid pancake thing is like, yeah, you're like. I'm like, nah, this got to be gross, and I eat it. I'm like, oh, hey, this could last all day. I think.
That reminds me, there was one other sandwich that they had that I used to love, but they no longer do, and that was basically their bagel sandwiches. They were fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
do
they
like
stopped doing
bagels.
they
Bagels
stopped
are
doing
good.
that a long time ago.
Yeah.
I think they stopped the McGriddle too. Now that I think about it, but yeah, when it goes to fast food and breakfast, yeah, it's Carl's Jr. isn't bad, but it's not good. Jack in the Box is probably
that is the most
consistent.
Carl's Jr. review I've ever heard. Not bad, not good.
It's just there.
Every
Some
time I take
things-
someone there, they're like, I mean, I guess it was close. Like no one wants to go to Carl's Jr. People are just like nearby and they're like, well,
Yeah.
it's over there. We could try it, I guess.
It's not bad, but there's just something about the way that they charbroil the meat that just it's either really good or not too good. So
No, the problem is that it's that like it's a little bit above like a McDonald's or a Burger King or a Jack in the Box. But
I would
it's
put 'em on par
charging
with
like
Jack in the
Red
Box.
Robin prices. Like that's the
Yeah.
real issue with the Carl's Jr.
yeah, that's very true, and it's good to see everybody here in the chat this evening. Shum, the Peter Vegan fan site, Serranos. Who else? Pops is here. Pops, you got name dropped a few times over the weekend.
Ooh.
Yes, bring back the McRib, Rib Witch.
Not cows. Think smaller, more legs.
Yeah, and yes, Carl's Jr. does have their advertising campaigns have always been a very jiggle physics happy. Yes, jiggle physics happy. That's what we'll call it. But we've only had a Carl's Jr. here for about the past 5 years. We've had a Jack in the Box for well over 20. But then again, I remember Jack in the Box back in the 90s when I was living up in Post Falls, Coeur d'Alene. That's where I remember seeing them. And then when I moved back to where I'm at now, then they opened one here.
Yeah.
And that was, of course, after all the food contamination issues they had at 1 or 2 locations. And yeah,
All
you want to know the
fingers
cleanest places to eat? Look at the places that got the shit kicked out of them for something like that. And if they're still open, that means they got it turned around in a hurry.
Yeah.
But if we're going to talk a little bit about fast food,
By all means.
let's see. I used to really love Burger King, but it has degraded to I would put it below McDonald's.
You know the last good thing I had at a Burger King was cheesy shaker fries.
Cheesy shaker fries.
They would give you a packet of Kraft mac and cheese, powdered cheese, and the French fries, and you would dump it in and shake it up and then eat cheese coated fries. It was so good that I would get like the Costco pack of mac and cheese after they stopped doing this and actually go to McDonald's, get the better French fry and make my own cheesy shaker fries and just have like elbow noodles for something. I don't know, casserole, whatever garbage you throw into a pan and cook when you're in college.
So true. But yeah, with fast food the way it is now, just with costs in general being just outrageous across the board. Yeah, the cost of going to a fast food place is
Not far
spitting
off from
distance.
sit down.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
In
my
fact, it
new
probably costs
argument.
more.
Go to a grocery store
Yeah.
or
to a grocery store, make
sit
your own
down to a
burger.
nice place. Like there's not often an excuse to have to use the drive-through.
Yeah, yeah, especially now. But back back when I'm thinking about it, when I moved back here when I was 19, 20, the Jumbo Jack, which is still one of my favorite hamburgers, was only $1, and that thing is not a small hamburger.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's sitting at close to $5 for just the basic non-cheesed burger. But then again, the cheese that they serve at all these places, the American processed crap stuff, I've never cared for cheese on my cheeseburger or
Yeah.
cheese on my hamburgers from these regular places. If I'm getting an artisan burger, that's a little different story.
Right.
But
Now I will say the place that I go quite often when I go to Japan is McDonald's.
I can see that.
People always they make fun of me, but I go to McDonald's because McDonald's in Japan gets its food from Japan. It's not like they ship in cheaper food. They get Japanese food, so the burgers
Yes.
already taste better. And there's this place that I go to that does all you can drink, pour your own sake. So you pay to get in, and then you just have access to all these coolers full of sake bottles. So you just pour your own, but there's no food. So you go get a bunch of McDonald's, and you go to this place, and you have it all the time. The first time I went, they had a 5-person fry. They were like, get a fry for the whole family. And I was like, hell no, that's my fry. I'm America. And I ate a 5-person French fry. But then I also couldn't read good. So I ended up getting what I thought was going to be a fish sandwich, but it was shrimp. And if you bite something thinking it's fish and it ends up being shrimp, I don't care how good it is at the end. You're like, no, I can't eat this. This was supposed to be fish. It breaks you. But they do stupid stuff like make the bun out of rice. They like grill rice into a patty, and then the whole thing just kind of like falls apart as you try to eat it. And you're like, well, that looked kind of cool.
Yeah, well, that's the difference between American and Japanese food. But let me ask you this: when you ate the 5-person fry,
Yeah.
did the Japanese people there give you the look like you fat American you?
Oh, people they look at you in awe just walking by. At least, I mean, that was 2013. It's less so now. Now it's like, whoa, a tourist, because they were closed with the last time I went in.
Yeah, they haven't had tourists for a while.
Yeah, but yeah, back in 2013, it was, wow, you're tall. Like little kids come up and they're like, how are you? And they're like practice their English. It's hilarious. It's not like everybody stops to like worship you or anything weird like that, but like everybody notices you, and you're like, this is crazy, because you like
you stand out.
America is not a homogenous society. Like as homogeneous as some locations can be, none of them are anywhere near what Japan is. So as soon as you're not Japanese, you're like, wow, look at all these Japanese people, and they all stare
Look
at you
at the
like,
gaijin.
he's not
Look at the
Japanese. Like,
gaijin.
it's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah, exactly. But let's see. Carl's Jr. we've only had for a little bit, and yeah, it's middle of the road. It's okay. Burger King has gone down the toilet. I remember being able to get a Whopper for $1 back when I was a teenager, whereas now it's like $6-7. By the time you do that, you might as well just go to the Red Robin, because their burgers, if I remember correctly, they're hovering right between 10 to 15. That seems to be about the going price for a sit-down joint burger.
Yeah.
But if you're already at $7-8 for for a fast food one, even if it's a monster burger, it's still a fast food burger. It just doesn't it doesn't hold up. And
No,
as far as a burger that I think is probably the most consistent in all the places that I've traveled to in this country, I would have to say Wendy's.
We've just been able to age you. You were in your teens when Joe Biden was a senator.
Well, that bastard hasn't been a senator for he's been a senator. He was a senator for a long time. Hell, he was a senator when I was just a kid in the 80s, so he's been around. But
You could have voted for him.
no.
No? It was before that?
Well, the first time that I could vote, it was W's turn.
W. That's
W.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Wait, really? Wait, hold on.
Yeah, I was born in '80.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
when I
yeah.
turned,
That's kind of hilarious because like I was born in '90, so my first vote was Bama, whatever.
was
And who is he going against? I don't know.
Obozo and warmonger McCain.
McCain?
Yeah, John McCain and Obama the
Oh,
first
it
time
was
around.
McCain. Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, and the
Yeah, that was
second
my
time
first presidential election.
the second time was Mittens and Obozo. And then we had Orange Man versus Hillary. Then Orange Man versus Mashed Potato for Brains. And depending upon how things shake out, it could be Mashed Potato for Brains versus Orange Man again.
That would be so great, though.
Oh yeah, it's as
Like the
big of a
grudge
shit
match,
show
like
as
it's like a WWE, like you thought he was down for the count, but he's back for the ladder match. Like it writes itself. It's so great.
it does.
Even
It
the
really
prisons
does.
couldn't hold him. He's here to run for his. Like it's so great. You couldn't write modern society more hilariously.
As big of a shit show as our politics have become, you just can't help but just laugh at just the absurdity of almost all of it. And
Yep.
yes, it does write itself. It would be funny to have that happen again. But then again, the AI presidents and the ability to create AI president skits should keep us entertained for for a while.
Yeah. Why don't we just have the AI as president? We could try that. Just give us like a year. Just 1 year with AI president. We'll see how it goes, and then we can go back to the current system if that fails, okay?
See, I like what Alex said. Biden Fetterman 2024 ticket baby. Yeah. Let's have that's the most let's see. You'd have to be a dead man not to vote for them. Yeah. Talk about the the no-brainers with that one.
You wrote in for 2016. I'm in Washington State, so I always vote third party in the hopes that maybe they'll get, what is it, 5%, and then they can get
Yeah.
more money. Because it doesn't matter what I do, my vote here in King County is gonna go blue. It just, you could vote for anything you want.
Yeah, if
It's
you're in
gonna
King
go
County,
blue.
you're-
Doesn't matter at the end of the
You're
day.
right in the belly of the beast.
And even Washington State, it's like the eastern half of the state should just start voting green or something, just to make it interesting.
No,
Because
they could do what
their red votes really won't matter.
they could try to do what the Eastern Oregon's doing and wanting to become part of Greater Idaho.
Oh yeah, the mass Idaho migration. Yeah. Whenever California splits into 5, then I'll believe that anybody else can split up.
Oh yeah, it'll be interesting. So the Oregon stuff has really picked up, and there's been a pretty big movement, especially up in Northern California. Last I checked, there were a lot of these Northern California counties, past north of Sacramento, that
Mhm.
they don't really care for the San Francisco or the LA Guns way of doing things. So they've had a
I
pretty
mean,
big change.
you can look at it in the county map. Let me see if I can pull one up here. But yeah, it's really funny too because it like you've got the San Diego, LA, Sacramento farther up. I don't know. I guess it is. And then it gets red, and then it kind of stays red as you hit Oregon, and then it gets blue again into like Portland, and then
Once
like
you hit Eugene,
gets a
it just
little
starts
red
going
again
crazy.
when you're into like Aberdeen, Washington,
Yeah.
and then it like goes blue again. It's this weird like rainbow that cuts across. It's not like everybody all mashes into one. Like not everybody's like on the coast, not everybody's like in the same area. Just kind of like really funny.
Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah. The once you get to about I think it's Eugene, Oregon, that's when it starts going to, having more restaurants that are tofu fart and fairy shit than regular hamburger joints. That's what I
Yeah.
remember. But let's see, Oregon. Let's take a peek here because last year took a trip to Northern California. First time I've been to California in 25 years. Probably the last time I'll ever be to California. Well, you know how they are, and if I'm gonna go and be tortured or torture myself, go to a place that'll that'll accept me being tortured. So yeah,
Yeah.
Bend, Oregon is about, as far as on the southern edge, is about where the weirdness starts. And once you're north of that, up through Redmond, Madras, up to the Dalles, then over into Portlandia and Eugene, you're into you're into some pretty extreme Portlandia stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to know what happens here because it's really weird because it's like it goes blue and then it goes back to red and then it goes blue again. There's just this little
Oh,
like
there
what
are-
actually happens over here, you know?
it's all national forest mostly, and
There's just like two guys that live in the woods, little butt buddies, and they're like, yeah, let's keep it conservative this way.
smaller towns, and then you've got the coast. So, as I said, it's only once you start getting closer to Portlandia that it really starts to go, yeah, blue.
Blue.
But looking at the Idaho map, I completely disavow Sun Valley. They can stick that straight up their ass.
Is Sun Valley the lower one?
That's the lower
or
one.
The higher one. Yeah.
And then
'cause
that
this would
other
be
one-
Coeur d'Alene, I'm guessing.
That's where the U of I is at. That's where Moscow, Idaho, where
Ah.
the 4 people were this past.
Yeah.
But it's right across the border is Pullman, so
Yep.
that's you would think that both of these would be more blue because they're not small schools. They're pretty good sized.
I don't know. Wazoo gets a lot like the Pullman,
Yeah.
Washington WSU. Anyone I knew that went there, like they owned real cowboy boots that they used to really kick shit with. So
Yeah.
I could see them keeping it fairly pink.
But that still surprises me because most places that have a university, they tend to teeter. Well, if you look at the map for Idaho, where I live, the county that I'm in has Idaho State University, and it's nowhere
Mhm.
near as red as just slightly north of here, which has now a 4-year college. But
Yeah.
yeah, Bannock County is an old Union county. Pocatello is a ancient Union town. Pacific Railroad was here for forever, and it's been run by the good old boys for a very long time. It's only been just within the past 20 years that Pocatello finally started to grow again.
Mm.
It had been 40 some odd
It's all the
thousand.
people leaving Washington, not wanting to go all the way to Montana.
Yeah. Flawed man of God's got it right. It still is a fairly good sized rail hub, but nowhere near the size that
Locust,
it
dude.
was. I mean, this used to
Watch
be
out for
it.
derailments.
Yeah. But about the anime that I'm gonna drop, I've decided I've made a decision.
You've made your choices.
made my
All right, what are we
choices.
dropping?
Chilling in my 30s, it's gone.
Oh, you stuck with it for so long. The only dropped show that I actually kept watching.
Yeah, I've kept watching.
Drop is it the first show that I will double drop? We'll see.
Well, I have. That's the second time I've dropped it, and I'm also gonna drop Revenger. I just don't have the time.
Oh, I don't have the time. Okay.
Yeah.
Do me a favor. Delete it, don't drop it.
All right. I'll delete it.
Or switch it back to plan to watch. Just because
And then when we get into
you haven't even started it, I don't think you can drop it.
when we get into the modern anime list creation here in a few months, we'll probably look at it then. But let's see. Actually, at the end of this month, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I'm gonna take 3 days to go through the double O's, and then when the 10s come around, we're gonna take 4 days.
Yeah, that only makes sense.
Yeah. Well, there's so much.
I mean, just look at your sheer numbers. You're gonna have to start like 1 year is gonna start looking like what 10 years used to look like. so-
Exactly. And I think I'm gonna drop Ningen Fusion.
Oh, you were supposed to tell me how that ends.
right. Well,
No,
since
you can drop it. That tells me exactly how it ends. Is you're like, I don't want to watch it past episode. What was that, 8?
yeah, I'm up. Let's see, where am I at? What am I up to on this one? I've lost track. Hold on. Yeah, I'm at episode 8, so I'm a few behind, but 2/3 done, and it's almost done.
You don't care about my scores, and I had dropped all your favorite shows.
I am gonna finish Campfire Cooking. I am gonna finish
That's why I
Tomo-chan.
like your written reviews, Serrano.
I am gonna finish Yorosei Yatsura.
Mm-hmm.
I will finish Farming Life. I gotta see how. Can I have you throw the spoiler Gundam up real quick?
Yeah, hit me with it.
I am gonna have a specialized Tequila Gundam made for me. I've got a friend that likes to tinker with images. I'm gonna have him work on one. I'm not making
Nice.
bad choices today, Shum. I'm just being realistic about things. But the Farming Life, we're gonna see. We're gonna see who the father is.
Maybe.
Maybe from what I read of the episode, that's it goes through it. So we'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah, I'll finish Buddy Daddies.
Still have episode 12.
Yeah, it's almost done. It's close. I'll finish Buddy
Yep.
Daddies. I really like it, but as I said, I think I probably like it more since I have kids and I understand have had them. Whereas if you're a single, it's maybe a little harder. But again, I also
What's the last episode that you watched?
episode 9.
What occurred?
Episode 8. Right at the end, the one person that had came back to town that I guess was an old partner of his, if I was watching correctly, put in a job with the shop
again.
clerk asking
Yeah.
to gather information about him and about Miri.
Yeah. Okay.
So basically, shit's about to go down. And then Endo and Kobayashi, I'm behind on it again, but this is one that I can't drop it. I'm not gonna drop it. It's just too,
Yeah, it's too
it's too
a
cute.
fun idea. It's like an isekai without isekai, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like you've got two worlds that are communicating, and there's a hint that somebody came out of the world, but we don't really know the fact there.
I don't know, Geminar. Lofty has some pretty hot takes at times. I don't think I can get any. I don't think I can get any better. Or
I
worse
was
than
just on here telling you that numbers are dumb, and you're worried about his not watching what is it? The Chilling in My 30s. That has your panties in a bunch. Like, come on. You're still here through me telling you numbers are dumb. I think you can survive. I hate numbers so much I willfully forget what each episode even is. True. 100%. I don't remember what the numbers are.
And of course, I got to finish Stampede and Handyman Saitao.
Let's get so good.
And I got to get caught back up with Vinland. And unfortunately, this I think
Delayed again.
I think this one would have been the best new show of the season had they been able to keep it going.
It's just trying to take after typical game development. Like,
Yeah, no kidding.
we're delaying it again, I guess.
That reminds me, I had also dropped Akashi Triangle.
Oh yeah, how many did you make it through?
None. I didn't even get I haven't even had a chance to watch it.
So you just didn't start it.
No, I didn't start it.
We got to use the same terms here. You can't say drop when you've not watched an episode. To me,
I've
you're
put
like,
it back
I
in
dropped
the
it.
library for a checkout.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah,
But,
telling me you dropped it means you started it and you have a reason that you don't want to finish it at least.
Yeah, and been going through Spy Family with the Weebling, but they've been on the spring break and they're with our less significant others. So, but I need to get back into this. I need to catch up on, or just get it watched. I just need to watch it. Need to watch the Slayers. Need to finish Tokyo Babylon. Need to finish Tenchi.
True.
The newer Cobra the animation. The first episode of it was pretty good, and it's on
the new one.
Yeah, the new one was on High Dive.
Is it decent quality on High Dive?
Yes.
Because you were telling me I think it's got a Blu-ray release.
Let's see. The original Cobra.
The original got a Blu-ray release, but not the new one.
Yeah, the original one has a Blu-ray release for the TV series and a 4K release for the movie. But I don't recall seeing a physical release for the one that they did in 2011, which is this one. So
Gotcha.
we'll see. I got to finish Pat Labor. I'm actually pretty close to it on TV.
Yeah, you're not far off there.
And of course,
There's a couple movies too that I remember being really good.
The 3 movies
in Pat Labor.
The 3 movies. Then before the movies, there was an 11 episode OVA, but High Dive doesn't have it anymore. So I'll have to go all yo ho 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 to find it. Fairly far in Ranma. I'm surprised I'm that far. Camp Tsubasa, I'll probably I'm going to go ahead and put this one back to planning to watch.
Pause it.
Yeah, pause.
There's a pause button. Yeah.
Because it's
a
good series. It's just old. I got to watch. This is out now, so I got to watch it. And doing some research.
Cat's Eye.
Yeah, the Cat's Eye.
Nine Lives.
Then I also need to see Lupin the Third versus Detective Conan.
Oh, that sounds like an interesting crossover.
Yeah, that's been over 10 years since they did that. I'm not sure about Edge Runners. I know everybody's like, love it, love it, love it. And Studio Trigger, they do a good job, but there's just something about this that I'm just having a tough time justifying going back to actually watch it. And I don't know what it is.
Interesting. The fact that it's only 10 like really helps me go back to stuff when it's like not even a full 12 and the story wraps up. I'm like, yeah, I could do that.
Yeah. I still need to finish Uzaki-chan. I've only got just the 2 episodes left, and the same with the Golden Arc.
Little sweep.
I did.
Oh, so you're watching Memorial Edition before you're going to be watching the 97 Berserk?
Yes, I'm further along.
Ooh, that's unique.
With that one than I am with the other. That is true. I did watch episode 10 of this.
Okay, I'm gonna need a real deep on that, like what you think, how it pulled it off, because there's some pretty big missing parts of the 97, but the 97 version looks better to me in a lot of areas. But it also does fall back on a lot of like scream and then the screen goes black, whereas the newer one does actually show some stuff a little bit more, even if it does lean into the CG to make it happen. So I'll be curious your thoughts on that.
Need to finish Afro Samurai. I really need to finish Hajime no Ippo. I really was liking this. And as you can see, I got pretty far into it.
The Dempsey roll.
Yeah, the Dempsey. Well, he uses Tyson's peekaboo style, and then I saw the thing where he does figure out how to use the Dempsey roll. He he figures out how to fight against the flicker jab of Tommy Hearns. I absolutely love the fact that when they're actually talking about boxing, they're talking about real styles of fighting from real fighters that were the kings, the absolute kings of the ring. Thomas Hearns was a monster. Oh, if
you have any interest in two dudes just punching the crap out of each other, Hajime no Ippo is great.
Yes.
Like Ashita no Joe is also a really good story, really well done. But to me, the Our World references in Hajime are just, they're top tier.
Yeah.
They're amazing.
That they are.
They're 9 out of 10.
And with the Ouran High School Host Club, if I remember correctly, this one has Vic in it, if I remember correctly.
Correct. Have you not seen this one before?
I only watched the first episode of it, and I was like,
shocking. You had to watch this show in order to be a part of the anime clique at school. Like this was not, you couldn't, when you went to SakuraCon, they like stopped you and were like, have you seen Ouran High School Host Club? And you had to recite the T line in order to get in.
In that case, when next month comes rolling around, I'll have to really try and do a dive. Well, hi pups. What you doing, puppers? What you doing, girl? Come here.
Yeah, puppy.
She decided to come waltzing in. Hi, pups. Hi, pups. Oh, I'll give you some pets. Yes, there you go. Puppers. Yes. I'd put her on camera, but I'm not decent for camera at the moment.
That's fine. You can post a picture on Twitter later.
Yeah.
As penance.
Need to finish Gurren Lagann. Yes, Donald, you're a mecha slut.
How did you get into two episodes and
last year when I
finished the series?
Last year when I started doing the whole thing of dedicating the month to a specific topic, in this case the decade, these were just 2 shows that happened to come up I was told to watch. I watched as much as I could, and that's where I stopped. And it's the same with Kill la
Mhm.
Kill. I've only
Yeah.
finished 2 episodes of it.
Wow.
I've only done 4 episodes of the 2011 Hunter.
Okay, to be fair though, like Hunter x Hunter, that's a commitment.
Yeah.
That is
I have gone 10 into Death Note. So
Yeah.
I'm at the point where L and Light Yagami have met each other, and
Yep.
they suspect each other. Light fully knows, he gets that he's L. He gets it. But L is
Mhm.
not quite convinced that that Light is Kira. So
Yeah, a little bit.
in that stalemate. And of course, a couple of cuckoos. There's once it hit that 14th episode. This is a tough one that I haven't had that.
I'll be honest, it doesn't change. Like nothing progresses much in the next 10 episodes. Like
No.
you could probably close your eyes and think about what happens, and that's exactly what is going to happen.
Does he?
So if you're
okay,
kind of like, eh,
then let me ask you: does he end up with all 3?
on the series.
What? He does?
I mean, what do you mean end up with all 3?
Well, he's engaged or married to the one who is the reverse, and then he has his sister that he grew up with who's not his sister, and then the one that he's really been after the whole time, but she's like, I can't marry you. I'm married to my job.
Does he fuck? No, this is anime. It ends with a giant question mark. How they all end.
No, that's joyous. Wonder if they'll get a second season. I'm gonna put that on pause. And I need to finish Girls in Panzer because it's Girls in Tanks.
Nobody
I love Girls in Tanks. That's this one made me laugh. I talked with Punkwaddle about that last year.
Yeah.
When we started watching, I just about died, especially once it showed the shot of where their school is at. I just couldn't. I just like, this is too much. It's so good. But I'm in the TV series. I need to get to the OVAs and the movies and all that. But okay, so how many am I down to? Let's see. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 from this season, 2 carryovers, and Vinland Saga is going to be a carryover because of its length.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm down to what I wanted to be down to, although I'm kind of surprised that these are the ones that are left. So
Nice.
yep, that's it.
Looking good.
That's where it's at.
And that's where it'll stay for at least another week.
Yeah, no kidding. I should also, excuse me, I should also get back and finish a Tenchi Universe. About halfway through it.
Mm-hmm.
I should need to pick back up Yu Yu Hakusho. That's the one I really should focus on to finish from the 90s.
Yu Yu
At
is
least I think so.
fantastic.
Yeah. That it is. Although I must say the 10th episode of Eminence in Shadow, I really didn't like it.
The 10th episode.
It focused too much on the females and their obsession with Shadow and their
Yes.
comparing of their jiggle physics.
Oh, yes. That character, though, becomes very, very fun moving forward. It's kind of a hilarious joke that, like, she uses slime enhancement and everyone knows, but she pretends that nobody knows. And it's just this constant, like, everybody gets it. So I do like that continuation for that character. But yeah, moving into the kind of the second core, we'll say, I think it goes into a very, very fun, like it sort of it elucidates more of his perspective, I feel. Because you kind of wonder what he means by, like, I am the shadow, like this kind of thing. Is he the bad guy? Is he the good guy? Is he ambivalent? Like, where is he at? And it sort of gets more into that, I think, in that second core.
He just is. I must admit, I'm really I'm really torn on whether I should try to power through the Witch from Mercury to be ready for it. I'm really torn if I should do that or not.
You should do that.
Does it get better?
Yeah. I
You
told
did?
you. I told you.
That's true.
I asked you a
did.
single question. In all of the decades of Gundam, have you ever seen a Gundam swat a man like a fly? Like a fly.
All right, I'll pick that one back up. I'll put it back to watching. And I'll try to
You could
power
probably
through it.
skip to episode 7. You like, because I think you dropped at 4, right?
Yeah, right at 4.
If I remember, 4, 5, and 6, sort of wrap up some of the like school days where she's like making friends and connecting with the school group. And then sometime around 6 and 7, they sort of switch gears into full on corporate mode. And once they
Okay.
switch to full corporate mode, that's when it gets a little more exciting.
Good. Now I'm trying to determine which other Gundam I'm going to watch. I really think I'm gonna go with G Gundam.
G Gundam is fantastic. That is a Gundam that is so un-Gundam that I think you'll love it. Because like Gundam's big claim to fame was in the era of Mazinger, you could watch a show where, if we had advanced enough technology, this robot could exist. Like we could build a robot that we could walk around in. I can believe that. Whereas like Mazinger and the Super Robos are like, no, I just have more heart and now it'll explode. G Gundam is that Super Robo. It is the I have the heart. I am working harder. Like it's the Transformers. It's the, it just has this air of they're gonna fight better and that means they'll win better rather than like superior technology or subversive technology the way that other Gundams do. It's less about the global story and more about just our Godfinger. But yeah, the G Gundam's a great Gundam, but it is unlike any Gundam that you're gonna watch.
And that's probably why I like it probably the best. Precisely for that. If I had to pick a second one that would probably fit in with what I like, I do like a good military conflict. I think I'd probably go with the 8th MS team.
8th MS team is a good one if you're looking for a UC. I'm always a big fan of IBO. I love the breaking out of slavery and becoming the kings and what consequences come from that. Wing is a classic, but I mean it's not nearly the best in the Gundam universe, but it has the best suits, I would say, for sure.
Yeah. And then I've got to watch Char's counterattack if for no other reason than Char as Nabel up there spreading his arms open and proclaiming fat tits.
Fat tits.
Yeah.
If you are you looking for just Gundam or are you looking for mecha overall?
Probably just Gundam.
Okay.
Well, I need to finish Gurren Lagann. I need to try and watch more of the BattleTech Macross and get into Macross Plus and all that stuff. But
if anybody ever wants to watch a mech show that feels like it's made in the 80s but was actually like quality wise produced in the 2000s, Go Danner is one of the best mech series that are out there that are non-Gundam
we have
related.
that on the list?
On a mech list?
Yeah, did we have that on the 80s list?
It's not in the 80s.
Is it okay?
It's like 2004, 2003.
Shinkan Gatai Godanar.
Godana! Yeah.
Marriage of God and Soul Godanar.
Yep. That is. It's so good.
Yeah. Well, when we start talking 2000s, we'll put that on the list, and it'll be fun. But yeah, I absolutely love all my 90s cyberpunk and steampunkish type stuff and all that. But I just don't know what it is about Edge Runners that just turned me off. There's just something about it. It's just just didn't feel right. and for it to win Best Anime at the Crunchyroll Awards, I think someone needs to have a size 13 boot shoved up their ass. No way. It's not the best from the past year. Not
What
even
was the
close.
best this past year then?
Cyberpunk Edge Runners. That one.
No.
Best
You tell
anime.
me. You just said that
Spy
whoever
Family.
decided Spy Family.
Spy
Oh my
Family.
gosh.
Easily.
Ass in comparison.
Not even close.
Are you
Spy
kidding?
Family is the most wholesome and best overall anime.
Wholesome
of
doesn't mean
the
good.
year. Even if it's not, I will die on the hill of Spy Family as the best
No.
for the past year.
For
Hold on. Who else was
2022.
nominated?
Best
Crunchyroll.
anime of the year. I don't care if anyone was nominated. We could just buy anime in 2022.
I want to see who the hell was nominated because I don't remember. Here it is. Okay. They nominated
You're
Attack
insane.
on Titan. No, that can't be right. Is that right? No, that can't be. Let's see.
You're with Brandon on this. Spy Family.
Okay. So for the nominees
Chainsaw
for the
Man.
anime of the year. Whoa, what's that?
Dress Up Darling.
No,
I would 1,000% watch Dress Up Darling before I ever watched another episode of Spy Family.
there was a video that started playing on mine, and I'm like, wait a minute, where the hell's that coming from?
Oh.
Okay, so the nominated shows were Edge Runner, Licorice Recoil, Demon Slayer, Spy Family, One Piece. Hold on. No, that's all those other ones that won. So Edge Runner,
Bleach was the best. Bleach was good. Not the
Demons-
best though.
Licorice Recoil,
Mm-hmm.
Ranking of Kings, and Spy Family.
Ranking of Kings, that was a good one too.
But in all seriousness, how can Edge Runners be it? I just don't see it.
Because of that list, Spy Family is the last thing that I would want to watch if they all had a new episode available. Every episode is just another like, oh, the family's dealing with this thing. All right, it's over. Oh, the family's dealing with this thing. Oh, it's over. Like the stakes of like the Civil War just don't exist. Like it doesn't come out in the like episode to episode. It's not like a cohesive story. They take breaks. Like I get that there's two different studios making it, but you can tell when the cohesiveness disappears and your season finale for the first core is let's go to the aquarium instead of the one that came before it. It doesn't have a cohesiveness that 10 cold cut episodes of Cyberpunk Edge Runners has as a, let's just get it done.
Maybe I need to watch more of it, but I said personally when I saw that, I'm like, nah. As it stands today, I'd have to say Spy Family. I'll see if I can force myself to watch Edge Runners, but I don't know. I don't know if I can pull that off.
Yeah.
So
I think you're insane. That opening song doesn't just grab your heart and your face and say, watch me.
no, it didn't. I'd rather watch your boy Kong Ming. In fact, I did twice. How many times have I watched Goblin Slayer over the past 2 years? 5 times.
That's why you can't keep up with anime, because you're watching stuff you already watched. You already watched it. Don't watch it again. Move on to the next one.
Again this year. I've been very concise about what I've been trying to watch, but I do need to to go back and finish. I need to finish this season. I do need to do that, and then this next season when it comes rolling around for the spring, I'll probably start cutting stuff after 1 to 2 episodes as opposed to 4, because that's just too many. That's so hard to do.
Yeah. Well, here's the rule of thumb. Stop watching it when you're done watching it. When you're bored with it, just stop.
Yeah.
Don't have a number, because every time there's a number, it ends up being not worth it. Oh, you should read to the 80th chapter of Chainsaw Man. Oh, Tomodachi game is as good as you think it is. It gets really twisted in the end. You're like, it never does. It never does like correct itself. It never comes around. When you're like, in that first episode, and you're like, in that first little bits of the second episode, then just drop it. Don't waste your time. You won't have fun.
Well, that's what I did with the one show.
Yeah, you dropped
Iceman.
Reborn as
I didn't even finish it.
whatever. You're like, baby kill dragon, done. Like, why that one? Why didn't you give that one 4 episodes? Because you didn't want to keep watching it. Like, just stick to that.
Exactly.
Stick to those guns.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's probably what I'll do. And
Yeah.
no Serranos, it's not a bad take.
It is a bad take, actually.
No, I'll take Spy Family. Spy Family is just so cool. I just can't. So cool. I would throw Anya up to have her judge you, but I don't have my stuff turned on for that.
I bet in 5 years you never think of Spy Family again.
I don't know. I'm buying the manga.
Okay. All right.
And I'm going through the first core for the 3rd time.
Oh my god.
Well, I'm doing
what
it with
in
with the
Portuguese?
Weeblings.
Like, why are you watching it again?
Well, I'm doing it with my Weeblings, so
Okay. That is the one acceptable
otherwise
time to
twice was enough.
rewatch a show is when you're showing it to somebody else. That is
Yeah.
the acceptable rewatchability.
yeah. Otherwise, two was enough. Well, there are some shows, Given Air, that are worth the rewatch. Like I won't go and rewatch Bastard. I won't do it. But I probably would. Well, I have gone through and started rewatching Trigun. I have started going through and rewatch Cowboy Bebop.
Oh,
Not
you
very
did
far
start
into it.
rewatching Trigun?
Oh yeah.
I'm on episode 11 of Stampede, and it's so different. And waifu looks at me and she's like, "Is this what happened in the first one?" And I was like, "No,
Nope.
because like my brain just gone. I'm like, how did the first one end? Like, big gun exploded into bigger gun, and then arm was a gun. And, like, that's all my brain remembered at like that moment. I was like, I gotta go back and watch the ending again, see what happened, because now I've forgotten how the original anime ends because this new one is so different.
It is. It is very different. Oh, let's see. What else have I done recently? Oh, I did buy the first Sailor Moon movie.
Oh yeah,
It was cheap. It was on
are
Blu-ray.
you a Sailor Scout now?
No,
No.
I got a friend that is, and I'm gonna send it to her.
Oh, hey, there's a haiku on my tea. Jigsaw pieces on the front porch, fading twilight.
Drink your drink.
I guess, whatever that means.
Oh yeah. So I need to take off. It's getting late for me, and I've still got stuff that I got to do. So yay! Thanks, Blade. Appreciate it.
Alrighty. Yep. Anytime. Have a good one.
Yeah, you bet. Take care.
Oh, Brandon's wearing a tuxedo mask. Dang it, he just left. Just like Tuxedo Mask would leave. Finally, we're talking Trigun. What a weird set of episodes. I'm rewatching the OG. Right? I need both the OG and the manga because where I guess I'll just skip ahead to Trigun reviews since I was so rudely interrupted twice this episode. This entire Knives and Vash and then Nicholas and everybody in this little central area, we finally got rid of Roberto De Niro. It's just it's amazing. It's like, this is so interesting, and it's so interesting that I've forgotten how the other ones ended. It's crazy. Crazy. Stream is 5 out of 10. Imagine unironically not rewatching shows you thoroughly enjoyed. Why? I have a brain that remembers things. And the only reason that you would have to rewatch something is if you, in your headspace, are in such a completely different area and the media you're watching has such deep meaning that you can actually gain new knowledge from it. And for 99.999% of shows, aka everything that isn't Neon Genesis Evangelion, that is the case. It's not autistic. It's visual graphic memory. until I don't care about something and then I just shove it out of my brain. Like the Trigun intro. Wrong. If it's so wrong, come and tell me why. Why would you rewatch a thing? Guess what? This is a you and Lofty take, okay? Why do you and Lofty rewatch things? Well, you see things you missed. Maybe don't miss it the first time. Huh? Ever think of that? Ever think of not missing stuff when you watch it the first time? It's not autistic. You said autistically. Wing OP and MS8 is like most searched. Of course it is. Some of us have bad memory. Yeah, but nobody who says you should rewatch a thing says it's because of their bad memory. Are you really going to be the person that says that? Yes. You missed many, many things more than I do when I watch something. Yeah, because I'm usually bored by the thing that I'm watching. And why would I go rewatch a thing if I'm like Buddy Daddies? I completely missed the part where they killed Miri's dad and they like revealed that it was the dad. I thought it was just like, oh, actually was like he had banged some whore and had like some bastard child or something that he was having to take care of now. And you know what? Going back and rewatching it wouldn't make me like Buddy Daddies any better. So why would I waste my time going back to rewatch that thing? Rewatchability proves how good the show, game, or movie is. Blaine has a skill issue and low endurance. Meanwhile, how did Trigun end? Big gun. Revolver, big gun. That's all I remember. That's not the argument. What is the argument then? What is the argument? I don't want to waste time rewatching things. I got new shit to watch. I ain't got time to watch something I already watched. That's why I already watched it. Endurance problems? You rewatch things you like because it's still fun to watch because of how good it is. Then I guess everything's just 5 out of 10 in my brain, except Ava. Oh, Flawed Man of God bringing up Lord of the Rings, and he doesn't know the deep lore. He doesn't know the deep channel lore. You're going to bring up Lord of the Rings in this chat as a reason you should rewatch a thing? Ooh. The only reason people want to rewatch Lord of the Rings is so they can put it on and fall asleep. Because they remember it being great from a time that they were young enough to have time to watch it, and they want to regain that. But they're old now, and they're tired, and they fall asleep, and they don't finish an hour of the first 8-hour fucking movie. And then they wake up like, oh yeah, it was great. We should rewatch that again. I'm like, no, why? You don't even finish it the first time, or the whatever rewatch number this is for you. It's like, why do you do that? Why would you do that? Who cares? You're going to fall asleep again while you're rewatching it. Every single goddamn time. And this is not the same group of people. Every time. Every damn time I'm in a group and they're like, oh, we should rewatch Lord of the Rings. Guess what? They all fall asleep. It's too long of a movie. It shouldn't be a movie. It should be like a series, if anything. And then at least Netflix would be like, are you still watching? And none of them would hit the button and it would just end. It would be done with. This has never happened with anything I know. Multiple groups of people from different walks of life. Nobody cares. All they want to do is remember how they felt the first time they watched it. They want to regain that youthful innocence. Get out of here. You need to refresh your Spanish? What? You know Lord of the Rings by heart, but you still reread. Oh, even worse, you read it again. Gross. Reading books. This has never happened. I'm just that blows my mind. Okay, how many times have you had a group of people that wanted to watch Lord of the Rings and successfully did so? That's my question to you moving forward. You and your friends have low T and can't enjoy Tolkien's Gyga Chadness. Yeah, I would say that a group of females does indeed have low T. I would prefer it that way usually if you're talking about a group of ladies. Skill issue. Yeah, it's a skill issue for them. I stayed awake and cleaned up afterwards. It's fine. Virgin Blaine versus Chad, literally any good media. Why? Frodo gets the ring. He takes the ring, eventually burns the ring. Who cares? Story done. Over. You know how people say if you meet an asshole, you met an asshole. If everyone you meet is an asshole, you're the asshole. Everyone you've met that watched Lord of the Rings fell asleep. Maybe you're the one putting people to sleep. Don't tell them where I hide the sleeping pills, all right? Friends, you watch it by yourself? Gross. You just sit in a room for like 9 hours watching the same movie? Gross. I don't want to hear about that. That's no. 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 Get your hands off your mithril. We did back in 2020, rented a theater. We rented a theater out to Extended. Food was good too. If you rent out a theater, can you bring in like all your own food without them getting cranky about it? That's interesting. Blaine rants are the best. Are they? I feel like I have a very contentious relationship with you all. Hopefully you know that this is all internet. This is my true feelings. This is the true me. But I harbor no ill will towards any of you. You just confuse me with your words, that's all. Justified quote. Far more than a coincidence. We'll have to get down to this. Yes. In 2 years, when I have 1 million subs, it'll come out that I was handing out hot Cosbys anytime someone suggested that we watch that stupid movie again. You're awake through all 3 films in the theater. What's their deal? But were you awake for the ultimate platinum director's cut release of the movie and the way that Peter Jackson sucked the dick of Tolkien so that he could spit it onto the reel? Did you watch that version? Did you watch that version of The Lord of the Rings? Imagine only watching the Ride of Rohirrim. Stupid word. Rohirrim. Once in your life. Okay. I did. There's no non-Twilight Zone explanation available for this situation, but all right, I got a demon that follows me around trying to like make my life hell, and he whispers into people's ears that we should watch something that I've already seen, and then he makes all the people that I'm watching it with fall asleep. It's my own personal thing to bear. It's my Job moment in life, is this demon telling you all to, you tell him to rewatch something. We should rewatch something again. We should remember that thing? It was great. You should ask him to rewatch it, and then making them all fall asleep. That's my life now. You can do that anyways. Unsubbed. You're a strong Eastern lady fan site compared to those silly PNW girls. Blaine Cosby. Blaine is gender flipped. Alice confirmed. We brought food. Remember, theaters were struggling for business post lockdowns. Oh, that's a great opportunity to do that. To rent out a whole theater. That's cool. You figured it out. You did, Blaine. It's called the Extended Edition. That's not the only thing extended while they're making that edition. Blaine's mad Evangelion isn't as popular. Am I? I may argue with individual people. So he hates Tolkien. No, because if Tolkien didn't exist, then Berserk wouldn't exist. right? Like if Tolkien and that sort of British European high fantasy history wasn't created and people didn't fall in love with that, we wouldn't have the Conan O'Brien's, the Conans and the Red Sonjas. We wouldn't have those influences getting to Japan that would lead to Berserk being created. So I don't hate Tolkien. I just don't want to read his stuff anymore. Lord of the Rings is substantially more popular than Ava. It's not close. Yeah, it's not even close. I wouldn't even attempt to say that. I'm not questioning whether or not it's more popular. I'm questioning the fact that would be why I would be mad at something. You put that on your buy when on sale list. There you go. Wait, is it? Don't forget Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. Because they've got kind of European style dragons and they have a smog style aesthetic. In my, so was it senior year? My freshman and my senior year, so a histories class and then my civics class. The teacher was very, very big on reading books and how it's important to read books and how you should read books and they're really important. And he would have us do a book report a month or a quarter. Month? Quarter. I think it was a quarter. A book report a quarter. And this wasn't just a write down what you thought about the book report. You would read the book and then you would stand in front of him. And this guy was a walking library. He knew every book on his approved book list, front to back, cover to cover, word by word. And he would sit there and he would grill you on what happened in the book, what was going on in the book, what did these things, to make sure you had read the book. And then he would like ask you more ephemeral questions like, okay, no, what did that mean? How did that translate and that kind of stuff. So you had an oral book report in the class once a quarter with him just asking you question after question after question after question. And every quarter, I would read the first chapter of a book and just bullshit it and get an A every time. Because there aren't that many stories. Oh, look who's here. Look who's here. What do you want to say?
Look, you pulled me out of... Look, I was just trying to relax after softball. It's freezing cold outside. I've been in Philly all weekend. I drove back yesterday. And then I come on here and I'm like, oh, Blaine streaming. I'm gonna catch up. And then I just said something about Lord of the Rings, and
you showed up during the political section. You're like, what's going on?
Yeah, I was like, what is this, a political map? I thought this was an anime show.
Yeah, this is the escape corner. We're escaping from our real life by yelling about real life.
Oh, look, Fox News has bought out Blaine's channel. That's great. When does mine get bought out?
Yeah, why do you think I was on Daily Wire's side in that whole?
I get up, I see a map. I'm like, are we talking about the 2018 or 2020 election again?
Yeah, we were. Probably. Maybe. I don't know. Is that the one I can talk about? Is that okay?
I don't know. What is it? Are we on YouTube or are we on... I don't know.
I'm on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter right now. Blaine started it. I did not start it. I
mentioned Lord of the Rings, and then he was incredibly rude to the series and the franchise by saying it should only be watched once and not 20 times.
What do you get the 20th time?
The same enjoyment. I read the books. I know what's going to happen.
You know what I enjoy? And this goes back to Shum too. You're part of this now, Shum. I'm pulling you out of chat to yell at you too. I enjoy seeing things that I haven't seen before, being surprised by events,
Yes.
having things that pop up that are new, like, oh, what is he going to do? Oh, he's going to do that. Or, even if you're like, oh, he's going to survive because he's the main character, or they're going to pull this off. This is my guess as to what's happening in the movie. Even if your guess comes off, seeing how they execute that can be still enjoyable and still fun to do. Once I've seen that and I watch it again, I'm like, okay, now the troll comes. And now we find out he's got mithril armor. And now and I'm just like thinking about what comes next in the thing. I get so bored with something that I've already seen before. So I don't get that same enjoyment rewatching things.
I feel like you're a sociopath if you can't watch Boromir save the hobbits and sacrifice himself with those arrows.
He dies. I know how that ends. He just
can't
dies.
Just go, I have to experience this again. Or the ride of the Rohirrim.
Don't.
When
you don't
when they show
experience
up
it again.
when
You
the
already
battle
know
looks
how it
lost
ends.
and Gondor's being flooded with orcs and all sorts of
It's why I don't watch
evil.
trailers anymore either, because if I watch a trailer, I pretty much know what's happening in the show to the point where it's so boring for me to watch because I'm like, oh, this is when that next scene comes. This is
I
when
was
like
watch-
I'm not going to see Shazam.
I was watching your clip today. I think it was you posted today about the Demon Slayer.
Oh
movie.
yeah.
And I was
God,
sitting
that
there.
was
I
so
only got
awesome.
halfway through it because I had a call come in. I had to take
Halfway
it.
is when volume gets turned up to 11. That's
and I'm sitting there going, "Oh man, I would have been pissed if I came in there and I got some some half-assed produced movie that's
Didn't-
like, oh, it's just the television show that you told
Yeah.
me was the movie."
And they didn't even cut, like, the biggest slap in the face is they didn't even cut out the credits or the intros. You watch the outro and the intro for the actual TV show twice.
You know what the frustrating thing is?
What part?
People still gonna watch it no matter, even if not, maybe you wouldn't, and I
Yeah.
probably wouldn't, but people will still do it even if they knew that.
I would have showed up late. I like the idea of getting to see getting to see episode 1 before anybody else. I'd pay for that. I'm a little bougie like that. But if I had known, they're like, oh, episode 1 starts at 6 and the movie starts at 5. I'd be like, yeah, I'll be there at like 5:55.
Well,
I'm
yeah,
not
but it'd be
showing-
like if somebody said, "Oh, here's a movie. Oh, we also like the first third of the movie is just filler episodes. It's a filler arc," and you're like,
yeah.
"Oh, thanks."
It had
nothing.
10 million first week. Is that big or is that bad? I feel like that's bad, right? Even
What
in
had?
anime terms, that sounds bad.
What did?
The Demon Slayer movie did 10 million the first week.
I don't know. I don't know how. I mean, I figured it would probably be on the low side. So, but Demon Slayer is popular.
Yes. Demon
Yeah.
Slayer is one of like the new big 3. So like back in the day with Dragon Ball, Naruto, and Bleach, and
So
One
I'm-
Piece.
Hate watching Fate right now.
Fate
Well, I
what?
just finished Fate Zero. I guess
Fate Zero.
If-
Okay.
I watched it and then I'm like, oh, King Arthur's a chick. Oh, they get everything about Christianity wrong, except for maybe they quote some scripture correctly,
Mhm.
but in terrible context.
That's
and-
how Japanese do Christianity.
I'm sitting there, it's like I hate watching this thing, and then
Yeah.
at the end, I'm like, I need to find out where this story goes so I can continue to hate on it.
Did you figure it out?
Huh? Well, I mean, I looked and it's like there's like a million different shows, and apparently this was
yeah.
there's a prequel. This was a prequel, which is fine with me because that's where I like to start at the very beginning. But
All
then I
you
found
need to
that
see
it's-
is Fate Zero. If you watch Fate Zero and you're not a fan, don't ever watch any of it. The whole thing is basically a big gotcha game ploy of like, watch it again, now watch it again, because they're all the same damn show over and over again, even with the same character models. It's crazy. You binged everything Fate that brought you back in anime? That's crazy, Alex. That's crazy. Leave Saber out of this
leave
too.
Saber-
She can rock my round table any day.
they make her Guinevere and just do. I mean, even then it's going to be stupid because it's like, oh, girl power. It's like, what?
You know how
I
old
see
that
that-
show is?
Like use Joan of Arc. I don't know what.
The
How
series
like,
is old,
I think I saw the first one was 2006. I mean, that's not old by a lot of standards.
but like the Fate, it's a video game series. It's been around for a long time, so it's
I've never heard of this thing.
pre
Is it like a
modern woke.
PlayStation?
It's pre woke. I would say. You thought she was? She is. She is Arthur
is Arthur.
Pendragon. Mm-hmm.
Make her Joan of Arc.
Why?
Because that's an actual female warrior hero that you could.
But what
could
you
make-
don't understand is that you can use that same exact drawing and bring her in a future series.
Is
and
that
call
what
her
is
Joan
that
of
what
Arc.
Genevieve is talking about?
Yeah. Literally, it's the same exact
wanna-
character model reused over and over again because
I wanna
they can
scream.
they can make the same toy. They can make the same toy. They don't have to
Nathan,
change the model.
You know what? I take it back. This is hilarious. It's a great troll. Here, we'll just use the same. We'll
It's just the
use
same injection
women.
mold.
Women,
We just put
women are
different
all the
armor on it.
same. We're just gonna draw all their heroes the same.
I think they paint her red or something. Like,
I take it back, but I'm still mad because of the whole thing. I think it's cool. I think the premise is cool, right? There's a battle, and you're pulling historical or mythological heroes out of
mhm.
out of the ether, and
Yeah.
they're fighting like that. The idea, and they've got they've got actual like mythical powers.
Yeah, and
Right.
like their tool has to do with who they are, right? Like
The premise
it's interesting.
is really good, but I know, but to me, it's just like it gets weird.
Yeah.
It gets weird. The whole point with
It gets very anime
Um,
very quickly.
what's his face, Saber's master, Enya or something like that,
Hmm.
and his homunculus, and he has a kid with homunculus, and she's trapped in a castle. It's weird. It's weird.
Take no fate slander.
What am I slandering? Look, correct the record. All right, just don't Clinton me, but correct the record on where I'm wrong here. And like I said, I'm hate watching it.
This is an episode. I was not expecting this to be just anger after anger between my takes, then Brandon, and now you. This is hilarious.
The red one, Mordred. Yeah, well, or no, what's her name?
Nero is also red. You're thinking of Rin Tokusa, I think, right now.
Who is
I'm
No,
talking
who-
about Saber, but with red armor.
no, but who's the female antagonist in Arthurian legend? It starts with an M, but it's not Mordred. There's another.
Fate bibbled about. In total words,
Banned. Right there, Jimmy. It's banned.
I can't ban mods.
Oh, well, that
Morgan Le Fay. Is this dude's first time watching anime? They've been getting Christians wrong since watching in the 90s. Not his first time.
Oh
but
wait,
Might be his
Evangelion.
first. Yeah, I was gonna say
From
But
the
that
first
one
one I
got-
ever watched.
that one got
Evangelion.
Judaism wrong though. They focus on the Chamber of Goth.
Yeah.
They get into that Jewish tradition, and they're like, you know what? What if we scrambled this up?
No, it's not the first time, but it's I am Gandalf.
Your beard is probably better than his though, so you've got that.
Dude, this beard is getting out of control. So we went up to Philly this weekend, and
Right.
because my brother had a birthday recently.
This was not the road rage.
No, that's
Okay.
that's next month.
Next month, okay.
Yeah, and right now, me and my wife are planning a trip out to Nashville for Nick's September show. And She
Okay.
wants to go to Nashville for other reasons,
Yeah.
to go see Nashville. So, but we'll
I
probably
testified in court today. That was fun.
You did?
Yeah, I witnessed a shooting last year, so today was my testimony day.
Like a fatal shooting?
No,
Was it?
nobody knows why they were shooting. They just fired off 14 rounds. While I was
Oh,
standing
so
at the gas
nobody
station.
got shot. Somebody just shot a fire.
Yeah, a firing, I guess I should say. Yeah, it was. I don't get it.
Using
They're-
was it like? Well, I mean, is it a residential area?
Not really. Like it's down the hill from the residential area into like the commercial district where like the gas stations are and stuff.
Take that
Yeah, it
back.
was still weird. You're just like, why? I still don't know what happened or why.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, is the Second Amendment that big of an issue in Washington?
The Second Amendment? I don't. Depends on why you were randomly shooting while you're standing at a gas station.
Oh, okay. If it's okay, gas station. So it is in like a very public and populated place. That's why I was asking
Yeah,
if it was residential. Like if they was
yes,
out in the field
yes.
somewhere and somebody was like, "I saw him shooting a gun."
No. I pulled into a gas station, went around to pump my gas, and heard a gunshot. Looked around the gas pump and saw a hand holding a Glock, and I was like, "Oh, it's not pointing at me." And then my brain was like, "Hey, moron! Someone might shoot at him, or he might be a bad shot. Like, get down." So I got down on the other side of
Or maybe
my
it's
car.
a crime and they shoot you.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I don't know what's I don't know if he's defending himself. I don't know any of it. I'm not getting involved. So I just got down behind my car, and, like waited until I counted to like how I think they had like 10 more rounds once I hit the deck, and then I got up. But I gave a statement to the cops, so then I had to go in and testify in court. They're like, "We're subpoenaing you." I was like, "Do I have to?" And they're like, "We can make you." And I was like, "Damn it."
Was it fun? Did they cross-examine you?
Yeah, lazily. really feels like they threw in the towel on that one.
You didn't even get to do it like
one of the questions
camera
was,
chat.
you sound like you're familiar with guns, are you? I was like, yes. And they just moved on. Like, okay, that was weird.
You didn't get to get a gotcha scene like photo chat and during the Rittenhouse trial.
No, I think I had 3 cross-exam questions, and they were all just like, what do you do? You seem to like guns. I forget what the last one was. Doesn't matter. It'll be weird. I'm so curious what he'll actually get charged with. Obviously, like discharging in like a public area within city limits.
You'll probably
Automatic.
get brandishing, probably because they can probably throw it in there, I guess.
I don't think brandishing would actually do much. I think what they're looking for probably is someone who's like feared for their life, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what he's charged with. They don't tell you.
Yeah.
They're just like,
I'm
this
thinking
case.
of it, but yeah, if you fire a weapon in a public with like near people that isn't like that's near a public place. Like I live pretty close to a very public road.
Yeah.
Right. So I can't just shoot out of my window at all the squirrels I want to die. To come up with new and interesting ways to kill them. But because of that, because if I discharged it within that
city
that
limits,
area, that is a big no-no. So,
yeah.
But he's probably charged with that. What I'm interested is, was he firing it because somebody was selling was person A selling gun to person B?
Yeah, I have no idea.
They were testing it to see if it fired or whatever. I don't know. I've never shot.
I don't know what
gun at a
your gas stations are like, but our gas stations have 2 rows of pumps, and he was in the middle firing towards an exit of the gas station, towards another gas station's direction. I have no idea what would possess someone to do that, unless somebody else was like for me, you had to have like shown that you were going to fire at me, or maybe you're going to run me over. Like something's happening, right? Like,
but I can fire my weapon whenever I want.
Yeah.
We
got a Second Amendment, don't we?
Firing.
It was an experience. But more so for the little Asian lady who was like directly in his like line of fire, who just froze and then had like a panic attack, and we were like trying to talk her down. That was rough. I was like, because like me and the like lady next to me at the pump, like obviously I worked at the gun shop, and I was like, "Are you good?" And she's like, "Yeah, I've been to the range before. It was just shocking." And I was like, "Okay, cool." But this little Asian lady was frozen, would not move. She thought she was dead. I'm assuming her pants were brown. Like, and if I were in her position, yeah, I'd be terrified. I would have hit the deck at least, but like I would be terrified if someone was firing me that way.
I take it I mean, I always took it for people in Pacific Northwest. If they saw a gun, they'd melt, or they're from the rural areas. You can handle
Nah,
it. You either grew up around guns, or you just immediately just.
We have
apart.
two types of gun owners here. We have people that buy the Bubba gun and they got 870s in their closet and they're red blooded gun people. And then we have people that buy only guns that cost more than $2,000. We don't have people that don't own guns in the Northwest.
Really? Everybody
everybody
I
has
thought
guns.
they hated guns up there.
No. They just like the expensive guns.
No.
It's like a collector's thing for them. They don't. It's amazing. It's a weird place. You'll never find a place like this.
You mean like Vermont?
In Vermont, do they do that where they're like
Oh, yeah.
everybody's got their
Like
like trap shotgun or something?
Bernie Sanders was, as socialist as he was, until he started running for president, super Second Amendment friendly.
Oh, of course. That makes
And then-
sense.
Yeah, he had to drop that. But I mean, like the socialist in America the most identifiable socialist was pro Second Amendment because he was from from Vermont.
Yeah, that makes sense. Probably similar, but over here it's like scars and old like collectors like P210s and stuff.
Okay.
Built
Like I said,
1911s.
I just lumped you guys in with all the California people.
No,
When
they're
I say all the
different.
California, I mean Los Angeles and San Francisco and Santa Cruz.
The blue part that we were just looking at on the map. Yeah.
the counties and the counties and the cities.
Hey, if I end it now, it is a short stream. Get out of here, Serranos.
Oh, is this one of mine where I cut like my streams when I go, this is gonna be a short stream? 2 hours later.
Maybe.
Guys,
My long streams are six plus, so
I've never
an
done.
average is 4.
I've never gone over, I think, 3.5 hours, and those are on like big interviews. The Nick
Yeah.
interview, Heinz Feeney, Christian Mario, they've all been 3:30 and under.
Interesting.
So, but it's okay. All right. Well, wait. Hold on. If you leave me here long enough, because usually I have very bad gas after softball, I can end this the way Ethan, ended his friendship with Nick.
We'll just exit him before that occurs. No, I'm kidding. Plug your stuff.
No, plug.
what-
I mean, you guys know, you guys are regulars, and so if you pop on by my stream, Flawed Man of God, we'd love to have you. If not, you'll see me on the random times that I pop into Blaine's Escape Corner
There you
because
go.
he's awesome and he should have 1,000 times more viewers. I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, Blaine's got a really good voice for streaming, right? You've just got a really good delivery.
Thank you.
There's not a lot of there's no wasted space. Like, just like I said,
I do clip
like,
that mic.
my wife gives me grief. She goes, you need to knock the ums and the likes and the other stuff out of there. I'm like, yes, I just talk how I talk. It's whatever.
We used to listen to, there was a Christian radio station in this area, 105.3, and they would play the game. And you would have to talk on a topic for 1 minute without saying or and you would win like $200.
I think I could do that.
People failed all the time. And my mom would have us practice just to be like, it's more polite, Don't say or ah, just don't say anything. Just be quiet. Think for a second and let the words come out. And it's turned into where like I'll hear different things that I use instead. Like right there, I said, and I have other vocal tics that I'll use to sort of cover up my thinking silence. But you'll come across these ideas as you try to not say or ah. It's not a face for radio. He said a voice for stream. It's different.
You might notice that in my streams, because of that feedback, there's a lot more dead air because I will try to say nothing as opposed to adding the ahs and the ums, but I haven't knocked it out yet. I do
Sometimes
have
it's useful because you'll say something, and then while your brain is like, "Oh, where do I go from here?" That silence kind of carries that last thing that you said. That was we did a
I feel
review
like-
of my gun debate with Sitch and Adam, and that was a big thing that I was doing is I was just kind of running through point by point instead of like letting my points sit and just make them talk about it.
I've noticed that as well. As I'm doing it, I'm like, this is better than how it was if I'd have just gone. And
I did have a
Alex is
minute-long,
right. It's a very hard habit to break.
Yeah.
It's difficult. All right, but that's my show. I came on here because I won't. Everybody should watch Lord of the Rings multiple times, 70 times 70 times. As in
That's
biblical
infinite
terms.
times.
It's 70 times 70.
Hermeneutically, it's infinite,
you can
right?
never watch enough Lord of the Rings. Read the Silmarillion.
Isn't that a concordance, basically? Or is it actually a story?
It's more of an anthology,
Okay.
kind of. What it is Tolkien creating a Bible for Middle Earth and Arda.
Gotcha.
Man. But it's got that's the deep lore.
Gotcha.
That's the deep lore of Tolkien, and it's got a lot of cool stuff. You could see where there was so much more room for other content.
You can see the notes that were in the margins while he was writing the book.
Right. Me and my buddy, who's more of a Robert Jordan fan, gets in this argument with me that there's more lore in Wheel of Time, when he's completely wrong. More lore in Wheel of Time than there is in Lord of the Rings. And I'm like, there isn't really. You might write so many books off of the different stuff. And Christopher Lee wrote 2 books off of it with The Children of Hurin and what was the other one? The Ballad
Christopher
of
Lee,
Beren
the
and Luthien.
actor, wrote books?
Christopher Tolkien, sorry.
Oh, okay.
But the
I
Ballad
would
of Beren
imagine
and Luthien.
Christopher Lee writer as well, though, in my brain.
He was
That
a big
makes
part
sense.
of Lord of the Rings. He did the narration for the audiobooks for both of those, I think.
Very nice.
He did a very good job with them too.
Have a good night, Pop.
All right.
Also, you need to watch a Wendigoon. I recommend Biblically Accurate Angels and then his Demonology one.
Geminier reminded me about it because I've had a lot going on in the past 2 weeks. So I went ahead and subscribed. So I know it's going to pop up on my feed.
Yeah.
I just haven't had a lot of time to stream, except for hate watching Fate Zero.
Yeah, that is true.
What should I read? Okay, so before I leave, where do I go from here? So I've watched Fate Zero. So I know the prequel. Where do I go from here?
I don't
What's the
continue
next show
with
I need to
Fate.
watch?
I don't continue with Fate.
Well, apparently the chat does because
I asked the chat. I don't know.
I asked the chat. I'm
not a Fateman. Look. There are. Let's look up Fate. How to watch.
Maybe there's a YouTube on how to watch Fate.
So number 1 is Fate Zero. Number 2 says Fate Stay Night, the 2006 edition. Number 3 is Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works, the 2010, 2014, and 2015 edition.
I think I saw that one on Hulu.
Then
it's available.
Then you do Fate Stay Night Heaven's Feel. That's in 2017.
Why don't you just call these things just Endless Blade and then Heaven's Feel?
I have no idea.
Okay. I'm gonna figure this out.
I don't know that you will.
And now I've got to figure out where to watch it because it's not on. It doesn't appear to be on Hulu. The Fate Stay Night does not appear to be on Hulu. And
all right, here I'll help you out here. All right, there we go.
oh, okay.
So you start out with Call of Duty, World at War. Franchise never goes to shit. Then you watch Skime remastered. And then simultaneously, you then have to watch Fate Apocrypha. Then Ozymandias interferes with you, and you have to watch Yu-Gi-Oh! And then you can move on backwards to Fate Prototype. But Sarah doesn't die in Terminator, and you get to watch Terminator 2 Judgment Day, followed by Magic the Gathering. But that gets coincided
Why do I
with
have
the
to watch
Tony
Magic
Hawk's
if I'm
Pro
watching
Skater.
Yu-Gi-Oh?
Just trust the map. Just trust the map, okay? No, there's a lot. I would avoid Prisma Ilia, just based on your age. It would not be something I would recommend an adult male watch.
Okay.
You will find yourself on many an FBI list.
Oh. Great. Maybe I'll just stop the series now.
That's probably a good idea.
Where do you go? So what's a good? So like, there's so many streaming services for this. Because
Mhm.
remember, I'm the normie anime watcher.
Yeah.
Where do I, like? Why
the
is it that
normie
there's-
anime watcher can get away with Netflix.
Right, but if I get something like, so I've got a Hulu subscription and I've got a Netflix
Mm-hmm.
subscription. So Hulu's got this Fate Zero. So I'll watch it. And I'm like, oh, I'd like to watch more of this series. And there's might be one more series of attached to, but then the rest of them are not on there. But I'm
Correct.
like, why can't I watch? Where do I watch more? Because I run into this with Netflix and Gundam is a great
Yeah.
example. What's a
Legally?
good hub to go to that I can watch all of it?
There is not a technically legal way to do that.
Okay.
There are websites that follow the old boots of Kiss Anime, like 9 Anime, where they just have a ton of anime available. You can basically find anything on there, censored or uncensored, in dub or sub, and you can watch it there. I'd recommend VPNs, ad blockers, etc. when you go to that kind of a website. However, if you want to go to a place just to know where everything is, one thing I really like about the AniList.co website is that on AniList, if you scroll down on a anime that you're looking at, let's look at.
Are you gonna link that to the? Can you link that in the private chat?
Yeah, I can link that in the private chat.
I feel like you've sent me AniList.
Basically, if you find a show that you're interested in watching, it will show you the source material. It'll show you sequels. It'll show you alternates, so you can sort of see what else you should be watching in that vein. And towards the bottom, it'll have links to their Bilibili, Crunchyroll, Verve, and it's on YouTube if you're in Asia, apparently.
Okay.
And then recommendations for other stuff that you may enjoy. But these links will take you then to their actual show pages. So that can be useful just to figure out where the show is supposed to be.
Why is Bleach only number 8 on the top 100 anime? It should be number 1.
Bleach? It's too much Bleach. Not enough people have watched it all.
Go drink Bleach. All right, give me some homework. Give me something to watch then, that I can respond with whenever I fall back on a Friday chat where I can say, I watched this.
All right.
I've already seen Edge Runners.
You have Netflix, correct?
Yes.
Record of Ragnarok.
I have not watched that.
Okay. Record of Ragnarok. I'd be curious to see your thoughts. Yeah, I might send you something else, but that is one that it does some interesting things with heroes from getting plucked out of their place in time, fighting against gods at the Ragnarok.
So kind of a similar premise.
Similar-ish premise, yeah.
That's close enough for me to be interested in. Record of
Yeah.
Ragnarok. Okay, I'll move to that because I'm all right now. There, this don't be an adult and watch this show, because you'll end up on, if you continue watching this series, you'll eventually come across things you probably shouldn't watch or probably wouldn't approve of yourself.
It's true. There'd be another mini Fate Religion rant.
That's fine.
Record
That's
of
content for the
Ragnarok
code.
was banned in India because of the way they depicted the Hindu gods.
Oh, good. Well, then I'll be all right with it then.
Yeah, I think you'll be fine with it. Ikitosen. If you
All right.
watch anything that the chat is recommending, you're gonna want to do it on a dad's weekend.
Yeah, it's generally after that. Normally, what happens is I'll be playing a game and watching an anime at the same time after I've finished streaming. But so it's between, 9:30 and 9:30, 10 till midnight is about when I go to bed. So
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how this goes. We could, maybe this, if you're interested, we can do let's show the normie the anime and get his reaction out of it, and then
I'm
turn it
down.
into a weeb segment.
I'm down. I've got Lucifer the Doberman in comments saying, "Oh, my girlfriend thinks you're funny, but she doesn't watch anime." And I'm like, "We'll find an anime for her. We'll always find an anime for her."
Yeah, 'cause eventually the curiosity will get the better of you the more
Yeah.
you consume the content. But yeah, I
Bible
think
Black.
you are.
That's the wrong Bible. Don't watch that one.
Yeah.
It's the Black Bible, not the good Bible.
I was in my 20s with LimeWare at one point, so I know what Bible Black is.
Then you are familiar.
I know the question that they ask on Nick's show, the balls or no balls. So
You know the question, but do you know the answer?
the answer is always whatever's easier to slice it off with. It doesn't belong there. It's coming off.
Understood.
But yeah, I think you're criminally undersubbed, and not
thank
that
you.
I travel within these spaces, but to me it's a well-adjusted, well-presented channel that should be like I said, if I was looking into anime, this would be where I'd go.
Why, thank you. I need to put out more reviews, more highlights. Kids like the shorts.
Clip it.
Make the clips.
Clip it. Just under 500 sub Stuart from Flawed Man of God promotes this channel, thinks that it's okay, and the chat's funny.
I'll explode when I get onto the official full gun debate with Stitch and Adam. I had 10 minutes. I gained 5 subs off of 10 minutes, so I get a full stream with them on a big day. That'll help.
Yeah. Well,
Plus, that's the one thing that I can say that everyone in chat agrees with me on, is my take on guns.
I think I probably mostly agree with you. At least mostly agree with you.
Do you agree with the government paying you so that you can buy a bigger safe? I think we agree.
I don't know. Why would I need a safe if the government would allow me to just shoot anybody who wants my gun?
I don't know if you've seen a safe where you're like beep boop beep boop beep, and you open it and there's all of your shit like lined up. Like, I don't care whether I need it or not. I love that feeling. All the racks and the.
I don't know how I feel about the government paying for it, unless
like
they're
a tax return. Like on your taxes, when you go to file your taxes, you mark a little box that says "I bought a gun safe," and then they pay you like 100%, and you just write it in. So you just get a tax credit. You just like I'm
would be
applying
okay
for
with that.
Yeah, the safety tax credit. You
like,
don't submit a
oh,
receipt. You don't do anything like that. Yeah.
I got an environmentally friendly car.
Yeah,
Let me give a
exactly.
rebate,
It's
tax
just like your
rebate.
solar panels. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, since they're handing them out for everything else that I don't particularly care about, I'm
Yep.
okay with this one. At least I should get mine.
You're cutting suicides in half overnight. I promise you.
The only ones left are Clinton related
Yeah.
suicides.
Yeah. As long as you just don't talk about them, you'll be okay.
I might be back.
Sitch's
might be back.
yarmulke is on too tight.
Here.
He is of the tribe, so that is but I don't think he wears a yarmulke. I don't think he's a yarmulke wearing tribesman.
I mean, it's hot down there in Florida.
It's true. Talk army guns with Jerry. Who's Jerry? Jerry, you mean Jerry Micklick? That'd be
I'll
cool.
talk Army guns. I had a 240 Bravo.
Did your Delta ring on your AR? Could you pull it off with your hand?
My AR. You mean my M4 or my
your
M16?
M4.
My saw
Your saw? Oh, you were a saw gunner?
for a little bit.
Did you hate it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So the saw. Interesting. So, all right. Difference is saw in the hands of an infantryman is not a bad light machine gun in some respects. However, I don't. What it's definitely lighter and easier to handle than an M60.
Mm-hmm.
Because and there's a lot of very big infantrymen in the Army and the Marine Corps,
Yeah.
but not everybody is Sylvester Stallone, and you might not have anybody in your platoon able to carry that
Right.
as well and handily do it. I had a client of mine. His son was in Afghanistan not long after I'd gotten back from Iraq. His son could manhandle a 240 Bravo and shoulder fire it. Like,
Okay.
he did, and that's what he did. So, they naturally gave it to him. But the M60 was just M60 was just a classic, right? It's one of those things like the UH-1 or the AH-1 Cobra,
Mhm.
right? It's still around for a reason, and it's just a piece of Americana. It's like the Ma Deuce 50 caliber, right?
Yeah.
It was a well-designed weapon platform.
Sometimes you don't need to update the design.
But it's big. It's a crew-served weapon, and
Yeah.
you don't need. It's the saw is more, I would say, agile. The difference is the barrel's shorter. It's a 5.56. It has the ability, though, to accept a M16 or an M4 magazine in a pinch. Otherwise, it's belt fit, right? So it has some versatility to it, but the amount of stopping power for a weapon that's really designed to be suppressive fire is not there as much. But you can put a lot more rounds down range than the M60 in a shorter amount of time. However,
True.
5.56 versus 7.62. I never used the SCAR.
Scars are pretty cool.
So for the most part, I got into the Army when we were making the big transition, or the transition was well underway, and so we had some M60s on the Blackhawks, and then but most of us were using saws, and officially, administratively, in my unit, I was the saw gunner in a convoy. Right. If we're on the range, if we're out in an FTX, if we're out in the field somewhere not doing air aviation stuff, I am
5.6 is a fine round.
It's
Dragon
just
Roost,
it's
get outta
F,
here.
5.56 is a great round, but when you're talking about when you compare it to the 7.62,
That's a fat round. That's just a different round.
Yeah, there's just different rounds, but it's one's bigger, right? So when we're talking about a light machine gun as opposed to a rifle, assault rifle, however you want to call it.
I mean, I would say a weapon in the military is being used to assault. That.
So
typically.
when we were getting ready, so when we were deploying for Iraq, so this is 2005.
Mm-hmm.
Second half of 2005. We get introduced to the 240 Bravo, and it is like somebody had a brilliant idea. Let's make an M60 that fires the same round, 7.62, as fast as the saw can fire a 5.56.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what belongs on a Humvee. This is what belongs on the side of a helicopter. My brother was a C-Night crew chief. He fired a Ma Deuce out of the side of this helicopter that's no bigger than a Black Hawk. It's skinnier, actually. And if you guys don't know what C-Night is, it's basically a tiny Chinook. It's one of those banana-shaped helicopters. It's got two main rotors, but it's smaller, right? It's a medium utility helicopter that they use. And so there's not a whole lot of room. And he would say that he would shoot. It's almost like the main gun on the A-10, right? when the pilot fires it, it actually slows
down,
the aircraft down considerably. He said you could feel the helicopter moving sideways when the 50 caliber was going off. We didn't have that problem.
Good for
Now,
a tight turn.
Look, it's not as sexy as the GE minigun, which you know, Delta Force had the miniguns and the Air Force had the miniguns. We didn't. We play with crap that's just not quite crappy as the Marines play with.
I love that you call it a GE. It's the Vulcan, right?
The Vulcan's on the
different?
A10. The miniguns, the GE miniguns, what you see on the side of like spec op birds.
Gotcha.
The Vulcan is on the A10. That's a completely different animal.
I thought the Vulcan was made by GE.
It might be, but when we
Okay.
talk about the minigun, we're talking about, when I talk about the minigun, I'm talking about
All good.
I'm trying to
Everybody
think.
says different things annoyingly, so I have to translate
It
anyway.
is. I don't know what I never was assigned one. I was never obviously never part of Delta. I've had much better stories than what I've got. But
Yeah, Dragon Rears, what happens when that round hits you and then tumbles inside your body?
yeah, that's one of the things that people don't understand too about some of these, like a 22 round. Why is a 22? And I'm not talking about a 5.56 size
Like
round.
an
I'm
actual
talking
like
about like a tiny
22.
22.
Why
from
did
a
the
22
IRA
rifle.
use it?
A 22 rifle? All right,
More
you get hit
confirmed.
by a 5.56, and let's say it goes in and out. It penetrates. The 22 goes in and beep, 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 beep. There's a whole lot more damage while it's moving around,
Mm-hmm.
where a 5.56 might not, or a 7.62 might not. It's going to do a lot of damage on the way out, right? But it's in and out, through and through. The 22's just bouncing around in there. Same
Yep.
thing if it hits you in the cabeza, right?
Why
It
the
doesn't.
IRA
It's got
used
enough.
them.
It'll go right inside the skull, but it won't exit the skull.
So we had a one of my coworkers was a saw gunner in the Marines, about your age too. So I'm curious if you guys are kind of similar in like your equipment stuff. But he would always complain about how everything they had was the loosest and crappiest thing. And then when he got into like the private gun industry, he's like, "You mean you have to use like a wrench to move the delta ring on on a rifle?
Well,
like
I've never
everything
used-
just fits so tight." He was like, "This is amazing."
My
And that's when
opinion
I
of-
learned that mil spec doesn't mean good.
No, military grade and veterans run away from it, right? Or they're vet bros and they're like, "Ah, this is just like in the Corps."
It's just like a hat.
No, like my opinion of Beretta, because they make the M9, is so low. I can't describe the depths of disappointment I have in that brand, because the M9 is such a crap.
Good
Weapon.
shotguns. Very good
And
shotguns.
Never use their shotguns, and they might be great, but
Trap,
I'll
skeet,
never
that's it.
buy Beretta because of this. I'll never
Yeah.
buy because and the thing is, I just missed the 1911s.
No.
I just missed the 1911s.
Well, then some people brought them back. I remember Colt had that. There was the M1911 that they did because the military was doing a bunch of testing. So like Sig, Colt, Smith, maybe not. I know Sig and Colt. Somebody else though as well. Maybe
Oh, a lot of people are doing the 1911s.
Wilson No, well the specific the military tested version FN.
Oh, okay.
It was Colt, FN, Wilson, and Sig Sauer all made a new spec 1911 for military testing. I don't think they ended up using it for like big group things, and then all of a sudden you saw these like, these are the most accurate mil spec. There's this huge ad campaign that suddenly when they all got flooded into the civilian market, but they're pretty cool. They were tan because everything was tan back then. Oh, we're in a sandbox.
Alex is my buddy over here, and he's right. He goes on a rant about the Army boys having the good gear. So I was in the Army. We were attached to we were attached to Mag 16, because Alex will understand what I'm talking about. We were attached to Mag 16 to support First Force Recon in Iraq at Al Assad back in between 05 to 07.
Mm-hmm.
And so part of the reason they asked for us is because the Black Hawk is quieter and more durable in the desert than all the stuff they have. It's more durable than the Huey. It's quieter than that and the Sea Knight, the Frogs. And we were just more capable. And again, the difference was we were flying in there. Our aircraft, so it's 2005. Our aircraft were built in 2000 and 2001 Lima model Blackhawks. My brother, who was there at the same time I was with Grey Goose or with Wild Goose, he had a logbook on his aircraft that went all the way back to Vietnam. I mean, the logbook was like that thick. And he's in combat with this thing. And it's still a great helicopter. Nothing away from the Frogs, especially since they were all worried that they were moving to Ospreys. That's what they replaced. That's what the Ospreys replaced. And
The Osprey is the snowboard helicopter plane, right?
It's that tilt.
Yeah. In SSX 3, that would be the plane that flew you to the top of the mountain so that you could jump out and snowboard down the mountain. That's all I remember it for.
It killed a lot of Marines, which is why, and that was one of the reasons why they were so scared. Like my
like specific cause.
It was there was a lot of early failures. I think it had something to do with the tilt rotors. It was interesting. There was a girl who sat behind me in high school, my senior year, and her dad was an assistant coach. He was a teacher there. He was a gym coach there, and he was an assistant coach for the football team. And their uncle, or her uncle, and his brother was one of the pilots on an Osprey when it went down, and nobody made it out. Like, we remember when it happened, like she left to go when it happened, and he left and everything. And then we heard, hey, his dad, her uncle died in this crash that we all were watching. We would watch the morning news in homeroom in high school. And it was just like, it was kind of weird. And then, my brother ends up working on him for Dynacorp after he got back from Iraq. But nobody was really excited because I still don't understand, because I haven't seen it in action. It feels like it takes a long time to get in and out of an LZ when you're waiting for it to tilt.
You think you'd leave it tilted? Oh, but I guess you land and then you have to tilt it.
It's
right?
different for different designs aircraft. So with us, we come right in and we flare up and land, right? And you can sandblast and everything. I think the Chinooks and the Sea Knights, they kind of circle their way down. Almost like going down a drain, because they don't have that tail rotor. They've got two main rotors. And while they're super fast in a straight line because of that, it takes them forever to turn. And so instead of that, they just basically spiral in. And so everything's about exposure when it comes down to that. Like, you're exposed going in and coming out. You're big target in the sky. So the less time you're a big target in the sky, the better. And it's just, there's no side. I don't know if there's any side guns. There's a tail gun on the side for a crew chief to fire out of, but I don't know how much defensive weaponry is on them. It was a very nervous looking aircraft to me. And I know that the Marines were not excited about it, because they were all told, the guys we were replacing in Griffin were basically told, you're reclassing to Ospreys when you get back, or you can go do something else, or you can get out.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I want to do that.
No, that doesn't sound fun.
Anyway. All right. So that's that for me. I wouldn't think I was going to be streaming tonight, but
here it is.
Popping in.
That's why the Sparrow is the best Huey.
Is the best copter or the Huey?
Wait, the Huey?
It was a Sparrow.
When you say Huey, do you mean just the Vietnam
UH-1
helicopter?
Yeah, the U8. Well, it's not a Vietnam helicopter, because the Marines, because they're not given anything new, basically put two engines on it and two extra main rotor blades and two extra tail rotor blades, and made it the Super Huey. And then you've got Huey gunships, which are pretty cool. Did you ever see We Were Soldiers?
Doesn't sound familiar now.
It's a Mel Gibson movie about Vietnam. They're in there for a brief moment, and they're just awesome. Pro helicopter. Look, everybody knows the best helicopter is Airwolf.
That is true. It's the only one that can do a loop.
What is this?
I learned that.
It's a top secret bulletproof helicopter. Yeah, and Michael Vince. What is this crap?
Did you watch
Oh,
the movie before you watched the series Airwolf?
I don't
you
need.
watch
I
the
didn't even know
series?
there was an. I watched Airwolf as a very young kid because my dad watched it, and I was into anything aviation,
Yeah.
so I watched it with him. And
That
I
was the
thought it-
classic era where they make a movie so that they can like have a big budget to pay for the props, and then they make a TV series.
The piloting in Airwolf was great. Whoever the stick was in the flight scenes, like there's a great scene. In fact, hang on. Now I have to show it.
Oh, so they handle their stick really well. You noticed that as a child,
That's
did
right.
you?
That's a good
Hmm.
stick. Hang on.
Good live action movie.
I never saw the movie.
Nobody
There's
can do
one
a loop in
where-
a helicopter. I love it so much. So stupid. It's called Blue Thunder, I think.
Oh yes, Blue Thunder's awesome with Roy Scheider, the guy from.
Oh, I am talking
Dog-
about Blue
Dog-
Thunder. Oh, never mind. They aren't connected. I swore, I thought Airwolf was like connected in some way.
There's another movie that came out like when the whole when
1984 Airwolf the movie. Okay, so there is a movie. This is
I
not the
just
one I'm
haven't seen
thinking
it.
of.
I was a year old when that came out.
I am
Um,
thinking of Blue Thunder though, which also did come out before it. So huzzah!
Is this it? No, that's not.
Blue Thunder.
I'll have to look it up for another stream. But there's also back when, and I haven't seen it in forever. Back when Top Gun came out and Flight of the Intruder came out, so it was a big like military aircraft movie thing, thing going on. There was a movie called Firebirds that came out about Apaches, and that
Ooh.
it's a fun watch. And they've got Apaches and Kiowa Scouts. And then Blue Thunder came out. Was at around the same time. I think Blue Thunder came out before them.
Yeah, so Blue Thunder came out in 1983. Then the
Yeah.
Airwolf movie came out in 1984, and then the Airwolf TV series started later that year.
Yeah. And then Top Gun in 86. Flight of the Intruder, probably late 80s. I think Firebirds was late 80s or very early 90s.
Pretending to fly a jet on swings during recess, as all children should.
Yeah. Everybody
Zoom.
argued who was Iceman and Maverick and everything. The same way we argued over who was Leonardo and who was Raphael and Michelangelo, and nobody wanted to be Donatello for some reason. Which, looking
Aw.
back on that, Donatello was very cool. But he had a stick.
Yeah, but you could actually use a stick as a kid. The other kids had sticks and pretended they were swords, but you had a stick that was a stick.
Yeah. And this was like, well, I can't even pretend
Science.
it's something else. I have to accept what it is. I can't.
It is what it is, damn it! He's got the longest reach in the game. He's the smartest one in the group.
Yes. Or in the that
Turtles in Time
arcade.
was my game, not the arcade, the NES or SNES release.
no, I didn't wait. Which one was the impossible to beat NES game?
I think that was just TMNT.
Ninja Turtles,
I don't know
yeah.
if it had a subtitle on it.
The original arcade game that they came out with was and they brought it back. It's on Xbox, like a
the
modernized version of it.
The original NES one was just Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
And then Turtles in Time was the next one that you could actually beat. Donatello, that big stick energy. Exactly.
Big stick energy. Yeah. Things you didn't appreciate as a kid that you can appreciate now with Donatello.
Speak for your side of the screen, okay?
I will. It's the
Some of
older
us didn't
side of
have
the
a
screen.
choice. We had to be Donatello as kids.
You had to learn from our mistakes.
I was the youngest.
Oh, you were that was the one that was left to you. Everyone
It was either that or make up my own OC. Nobody wants to be Casey Jones. Nobody.
Casey Jones, man, Casey Jones never got enough credit. I liked him because I liked.
He was the
like
Krillin
all
of TMNT. It's like, here's these cool super mutant ninja kids, and this dude is like, hey, I showed up after practice.
He had great lines in the movie, though. The first movie.
The 90s movie that I thought came out in 96 because my tiny brain has solidified it at the wrong
Definitely
time.
not 96.
Yeah.
MC
we
Hammer.
we learned this last week.
Oh, did you?
I was like, yeah, it came out in like 96.
Okay. To put this into perspective, Vanilla Ice did the soundtrack to the second movie.
Yeah,
And
but
he
you got to
was
remember,
very
my
cool.
formative brain, it was goo in the 90s.
That was my bet. That was the two best Christmases I had. One, when I was in 5th grade, my dad bought us a trampoline, and he put it all together that night. Santa
Nice.
Claus brought us a trampoline. He assembled that trampoline by himself in the snow. Great dad maneuver.
Yeah, that is.
But when I was in 1st grade, he got me all of the, at that point, available Ninja Turtle action figures, except for April O'Neil, because they couldn't find her. And then they're like, he probably doesn't want to play with the girl action figure anyway, because she didn't.
Damn.
She only came with the camera. The most valuable one if you still had it, but I don't have any of them
Of
anymore.
course. That's how it goes.
But they came in a, it was a, it,
All the
I
rest
came
of them are in
downstairs.
jars.
I came downstairs and it was just this big box, and I opened it, and it's just filled with boxes of unopened Ninja Turtle action figure boxes. And I'm like,
That's amazing.
and it's just one after another. Oh, and the oh crap, what was the name of the van? The attack van that they had. I had that. That was in there. I mean, it was just, it was a treasure trove of action figures, which was big for me because my parents wouldn't let me watch G.I. Joe because they thought it was too violent. They wouldn't let me watch Transformers because it was too violent.
Oh, wow.
But somehow Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was not violent. I guess they thought it was so absurd as not to be taken seriously.
Yeah.
But it was
You're
such
insane.
a big deal for me, and I played with those things way past when it was acceptable for my
Age
peers
range.
to think that it was okay. I played with those things forever.
Nice.
Those and Micro Machines,
Micro Machines are amazing.
and not
April belongs in the jar. Not the new one, though. New one doesn't go in the jar anymore.
is that jar what I think it is?
Probably.
Weebs are awful. Because they're so open about their degeneracy, where other people would just not talk about it.
Yeah, but I'd rather that group where I know what everybody is thinking and saying, rather than the one that lies to my face and pretends that they aren't thinking that.
I just assume that there is something. Look, a normal person is somebody you just don't know very well. I just assume somebody has some dark degeneracy that they don't want other people to know about, and that's
Yeah.
okay. That's okay. I'll pray for you because I have my own, I'm sure, and that I keep to myself. I don't necessarily need to know about the jar,
Okay.
right? I could do
I don't have
without.
a jar. I'm not a
I know
jar
the-
guy.
oh,
you know.
Okay, I didn't
But there
think
are
that you
jar
had a jar,
people,
but I'm sure
yeah.
that maybe there's a jar adjacent thing.
Those are
that you
pillow
have.
people. Those are the docky lovers. Jar, you don't get it? You think you Google it. Google Reddit jar anime. Have fun with that one. Oh my goodness.
Don't do it. Some things, if you don't know,
Yeah, I'd recommend
please don't put a
against it.
Gundam in the jar.
No,
because-
that would be there are some gunplas.
Doggies.
No, haven't you seen the Gundam has their 60-second mission girls where you're
Oh, yeah.
building a model kit like Gunpla, but it's like a female figure instead of like a robot at the end of it.
Because of course.
Yeah, and you can give her like cool power armor and stuff. I like that aesthetic. It's cool
Is
cosplay
it
too.
Gundam though? I mean, I don't mind it as a thing, but is it Gundam?
Well, it's made by Gundam.
Uh,
And by made by Gundam, I mean Bandai, of course. But
okay. Sorry
Jar
about your
Origins were with
Alex.
MLP. Is it?
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me.
I feel like that. What's that term where like two people on opposite ends of the world come up with the same idea at the same time?
I know what you're talking
There's
about.
like
I don't know.
there's like a term for this. Yeah.
I don't know what it is. If somebody said it, I'd probably like, oh yeah, that's it. But it's not even on the tip of my tongue.
Google will help me. And if Google won't, then ChatGPT will
Look,
help me.
if you guys want a
It just
slight
says synchronicity.
slight disclosure of mine, when I was 4 and 5 years old, I had My Little Ponies.
That's funny. My buddy had a My Little Pony
Which is
because he asked his mom for a horse for Christmas. He's like, I want a horse. Because
That's
his
a
like
good
grandpa
one.
had a horse and she got him a My Little Pony and he kept it for years just as this funny little thing on his shelf. And he like we got like skating stuff, we got like hardcore emo stuff, and there's just a little pink pony on his shelf as long as I knew him.
That's good. That's got a good story behind it, though. Now that I've just said that, I think I understand why my parents got me the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Then
Yeah, we gotta get this pony shit
I
out
was
of
like,
here, man.
I don't know about this.
I think we made a mistake.
I
That
had
was
this-
called Rainbow what?
It's why is this? Why does this horse have a tramp stamp on it?
They all do. Those little hip tattoos.
They're like trashy. They're like trailer trash Care Bears.
You should check out the OG episodes. Is it like how for everyone are we talking? I don't really know. I don't think I care. The meme page?
Why did Why did you link that?
Why yeah, why did you link that? You degenerate?
I told you should have banned them.
I guess I
Clear-
can take away his wrench. I feel
clear
like I've done
bu-
it before.
clear abuse of.
This
Clear
might be
abuse of
this
the
might be the
chat.
second loss of a wrench that we've seen.
I don't need to watch MLP cartoons because the OG Care Bears was where it was at. OG Care Bears was where it was at.
I'll take
Don't
your
be mean. Don't be grumpy. Care Bears stare. And, power emitted from their tummies. My daughter, we got her because
Does she watch Care Bears currently? Is this a show that you're
Currently, no.
invested in?
one of my favorite things that she did when she was 3. I think it was 3. Could be 2. But we got her because she can have a bit of a attitude streak to her. We got her grumpy. We got her grumpy from Care Bears, and she liked it. And
Nice.
then she was left alone in the den and colored herself blue with a marker. Her whole body was blue, and she's just
And you
walking.
just
I mean,
have to
I-
shrug and say
I
it's
come-
non-toxic. Like
I come downstairs. Well, it's jarring to come down and go, why does my kid look like a Smurf?
yeah.
And then she's holding the Care Bear. It's like, oh, okay. This is cosplay. Stop it.
That's weird. That's
Yeah,
hilarious.
I immediately locked her in her room for the next 2 years so I would get her out of any type of ideas of cosplay. Just kidding.
You are
She loves
you.
She loves to dress up.
That's
She loves to
hilarious.
dress up. Her and my son. My son has got the coolest ideas. He was Marshmallow, the DJ for Halloween this past year.
Yeah.
So I got him. He got a helmet, and I got the whole thing lit up. He was Mega Man a couple of years ago.
Oh, Mega Man's a fun one.
He was Ric Flair before he knew better. That was my idea. He was Ric Flair. I was Randy Savage. My wife was a referee. It's a
Yeah.
great picture. I looked really good. And I had a coworker at the time. He had a authentic replica or whatever you call those things of
Yeah,
a
the belt.
championship belt.
Yep.
Cost him a ton of money, but he let me use it as a prop for trunk or treat.
Nice.
That's how much he trusted me with it. And it's a great picture because I've got the shades, I've got the bandana and the Randy Savage shirt, and I've got my arms taped up. I looked good with the, and I had the
Just
beard
a
going pretty
box
well.
full of coffee creamer.
I had everything but the muscles.
Yeah. It's okay. We can inject oil.
Yeah. You can infer muscles when it comes to dressing up.
Yeah.
So.
No one's upset that you're a skinny savage.
And then there's well then as somebody could, did your wife make that costume for you? Or no, wait, did your husband make it for you? Never mind. That's the
Yeah.
meme.
That would be the more appropriate meme for the wrestling of the day.
Well, no, that's the joke in the first Spider-Man movie. Remember, he's wrestling against Savage
when he's in the
in the cage match, and he goes,
yeah.
"Oh, it's a great
He,
outfit.
jumps
Did
up.
your husband make it for you?" And now it's a meme where it's just like, as a matter of fact, he did. We have a great relationship, and I love him very much. And that
silly.
yeah, that's what.
Cute.
That's a cute
Yeah.
outfit.
There we go. Thank you, Gemini. We can always trust you with the live action quotes.
And he was Pikachu. He was also Pikachu.
Also Pikachu. Were you Ash Ketchum?
No, he was Mario, and I
Was
was
your wife
Luigi.
Misty?
No, I can't remember what I was that year. I think I was a
Mm.
lumberjack that year because it was easy. That was an easy. I put on a flannel shirt and grabbed
like-
my steel, and that was it. And I grabbed some logs from the wood pile, and we just put that out there. When he was Mario, I was Luigi. My daughter was Peach. No, yeah, my daughter was Peach, and my wife was a Goomba.
Goomba.
A Goomba.
Nice.
That was great. All right, let me turn in because I'm already.
Yeah, what time is it where you're at? gotta be late.
It's 10 to 1.
All right. Go to bed.
When I'm
You had a long
when I'm
softball
dragging
game.
on my stream tomorrow night, I'll just blame you. I'm just like, this is Blaine's fault. I was so
That's
excited
fine.
to have a nice fresh start on my this weekend stream because I've been so bad about it.
It's my cross to bear
It's
for
okay.
saying goodbye to you.
You can
3 times
come in.
tonight.
You can crash my stream whenever you want. Just, I guess, say you want me to pass you the link, and I'll send it because I don't stream in this format. So
It's a new one
link
each time,
doesn't-
yeah.
one link doesn't work all the time.
That's okay.
And thank
You're
you for
good.
letting me abuse that.
Of course. It's
So-
always fun.
All right, buddy. All right, chat. You all are great. And like the chat, like the stream, and tell your people about the show. It's awesome.
Thank you. Have a
All
good
right.
one.
Take it easy.
Bye. All right. And with that, oh, what the heck do we even talk about today? All right, I'm just gonna go through this. Urusei still. Wait, I gotta switch this to the winter 2023. Tomo-chan is a girl. Still watching it, still enjoying it. Can't wait to see how this season ends, and I hope it gets another season. That would be fantastic. Giant Beasts of Ours still haven't technically dropped. I think I'm gonna watch one more because I still feel good about it. I'll see how that goes. Tokyo Revengers season 2. Getting some really fun wrap up, some really good character growth in and among the crew. I'm excited to see where the handshake takes us next. I'm excited for that one. That'll be a fun one to follow up with. Magi Revo, I'm still just sitting on 5 in. I'll probably just binge that on a Thursday or something. One of these days that I have some. When I finish the electrical in the trailer, I'll probably have a little more time because the plumbing will be way easier, but the electrical not quite so easy. Campfire Cooking, I should just drop it. I really should. I want to watch one more because I didn't hate it. I liked the general direction, but we'll see. I want to watch one more, and that's what's keeping me from dropping that one right now. Handyman Saito. Saito, gosh, I'm talking like Brandon sometimes. Handyman Saito in Another World. I'll probably just save that one in like a paused state. We'll see. Buddy Daddies. Field Day was adorable. They're giving Miri back. We'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. I'm curious to see how they end up either as a family or if they go with a part their ways and everybody's happy kind of a thing. Epone again, I should just send to the drop realm. Can't believe. Oh, it already is. Never mind. Never mind. It's already dropped. Chilling in my 30s. I'm gonna keep going. I'm on episode 7 at least. We'll see. We'll see. Trigun Stampede. I'm just gonna skip ahead to Trigun Stampede. Can you make read a banned word? No. The only banned words are words that would get me kicked off of YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Rumble, anywhere else this stream ends up. For now, we'll see. I really, really like where Trigun's going. I want to see, like, the next episode is going to be very, very interesting. Very interesting. Very excited for it. Can't wait to see it. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out through this roller coaster of a show. I will catch you all next time. Kampai.